Good afternoon. Welcome to the Alcohol Beverage Board of St. Mary's County July 8th, 2021 meeting. As we prepare to open the meeting, here are some of the guidelines. Public meetings are now open to the public. This public hearing is being televised live on St. Mary's County Government TV 95 and the county's YouTube channel. It will remain available on demand viewing on the St. Mary's County Government YouTube channel. My name is David Willenborg. I'm the chairman. To my far right is Chris Beaver, our attorney, Tammy Hildenbrand, our administrator. Beside me is member Barbara Hill. To my left, member Leonard Cole. Next is member Watts, Richard Watts. Our investigator, Kevin Hall. And to the far left is Sergeant Steve Myers. Our first order of business will be to approve the agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Member Cole has a motion to approve the agenda. Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Watts seconds it. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. On to the next order of business. We'll be approving the minutes from June 10th. Has everybody had time to review the minutes?
Yeah.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes as written?
I make a motion we approve the minutes as written.
So we have a motion to approve the minutes as written for June 10th from Barbara Hill. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Member Cole seconds the motion. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None? It passes. Thank you. So we're going to have a busy day here. We're going to try to get you out of here as quick as possible. Okay, we're going to go to old business. So the first person is going to be Greg Calloway, extension of conditional approvals for requesting a 90-day extension to the conditional approval of outdoor seating. Do we need to swear him in?
Yes, sir. Mr. Cole's got it right
Mr.
next
Cole,
to him.
go ahead, please.
Okay. Raise your right hand, Greg. Do you hereby declare and affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name and home address for the record.
Greg Calloway, 20865 Callaway Village Way, Callaway, Maryland, 20620.
Thank you, sir. Have a seat.
I'm here today to, just as Chairman read, to ask for an extension of to 90 days. Still working through the paperwork. Things have been approved, but still have one more step to go. And that's basically it.
So what's the one step left?
The signing of the card, fire marshal.
Okay.
Check.
Excellent.
Site plan has been approved.
Excellent. Any members have any questions?
So this would be conditional on the fire marshal approval, Greg?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How many days do you need?
I'm asking for 90 because things happen.
30, 60, 90?
90.
90?
90 additional days from, or an extension from, because we gave you 60, I believe, last
He
time.
got
I got
30 before.
30.
He probably should have taken 90. He's taking 90 now.
Okay.
Okay.
He can get, once he gets his green card signed off and I get verification from the fire marshal, he's good to
He's
go.
cleared.
Any other members have a question? Can I have a motion to approve?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve Mr. Callaway for a 90-day extension to allow him to finish up the paperwork he needs.
So we have a we have a motion from Mr. Watts. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a second to grant the 90-day extension to complete his approval process. Do we have any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Good luck, sir.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Next is Toasted Foot.
You both raise your right hand, please. Do you hereby declare and affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your names and home address for the record.
Robert Oler, 16168 Copper East, 22350 Pembroke Drive, Highwood, Maryland, 20626. That's right. Piney Point Road, Piney Point, Maryland, 20674.
Please have a seat, gentlemen.
So you gentlemen, you're requesting a 90-day extension of conditional approval for outdoor seating, correct?
Correct.
Okay, where are you going from here?
Similar situation with Gridiron. We're site plan approved. We're waiting on health approval, health plan, or health department approval.
Waiting on health department, okay. That's the last thing you're waiting on?
That's it? Yeah.
Okay.
We would have had that already. I didn't know that I had to do that separately. I thought that was included with the land use and growth management application,
Okay.
so.
Excellent. Any members have any questions?
That's for the area in between the two buildings, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions from the members? Do we have a motion to approve the 90-day extension?
I'll make a motion that we approve Toasted Foot, Robert O'Lear and Scott Reeves requesting a 90-day extension of conditional approval for outside seating. That would be 90 days conditional on health department approval.
Do we have a second member wishing to second the motion?
I'll second the motion.
Member Watts seconds the motion. Discussion? None? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, St. James Deli and Spirits. Sherry Thompson requesting 90-day extension of conditional approval of store renovation and expansion.
Will you both testify?
Probably yes.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. Do you hereby declare and affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Please state your name and home address for the record.
Sherry Thompson, 49730 Schoolhouse Lane, Dameron, Maryland, 20628.
David Thompson, 49730 Schoolhouse Lane, Dameron, Maryland, 20628.
Please have a seat.
Okay, go ahead and present your request.
Oh, we're requesting another 90 days to complete our renovation.
And you think you're going to be done in 90 days? Thanks.
We hope so. It's difficult with our improvements, like for instance, equipment or a front door is 10, 12 weeks out. We're hoping like 60 days, 60 to 75, we should be like full strength. So some of the improvements have to stop until we get a piece of equipment, and then they can continue the improvement. So it's challenging, but we're waiting on materials more or
Okay.
less. But everything is in order. Fire marshal signed off. We're just waiting to, I guess at this point, get the health department to let us open up
Okay.
and get our UNO.
Okay. Members, any questions?
Is 90 days the maximum we can?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
the
that's-
max?
that's the most
That's
we
the
can do.
max.
Yeah. Are you all, I was down your way probably a couple weeks ago, and are you all still going to do gasoline out front?
No.
No? So that's gone, right?
Moved to the tanks,
Okay.
yes.
The inside will be more sit-down deli?
It's all to go, all
It's
carry out.
all to go? All right. It looks very good. I mean, yeah, I can see there's a lot of work that has been involved in upgrading the whole facility.
We're quite
Thank you.
proud.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
reason for our fuel tanks is the insurance was, the tanks were 30-plus years old, so it was either spend another $500,000 to upgrade, and it just wasn't there, the business. So we decided to pull it out. It allows us to have more parking as well, so it's a win-win.
Now, did you have to remediate any of the soil or anything?
There was a small, as big as a surfboard around one of the pumps, the dispensers, and it has been properly taken care of.
But that's with approval from the health department and everything, or environmental?
Yes, there was a certified card carrying, the proper people were there to take care of everything.
The contractor that we hired, they had all the certification that they needed. DA.
Tammy, is that something that the board would need? No?
No, sir.
Okay.
You already approved it. We're just
Right,
giving them
okay.
more
Extension.
time.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Any other members have any questions? Do I have a motion to approve the extension for 90 days?
I'll make a motion to approve an extension for 90 days to St. James Deli for Sherry and David Thompson to allow them to complete the renovation and awaiting the health department approval.
So Member Watts has made a motion to grant the requested 90-day extension of conditional approval of store renovation expansion for the St. James Deli and Spirits. Do we have a second?
I will second that.
Member Hill seconds it. Discussion? None? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck, yeah.
In an odd way, it's nice seeing everybody again, so
Yes.
take care.
Next, Foxy Fish. Debbie and David Buckler. Requesting a 90-day extension of conditional approval of extension of premise for new bathrooms and service hallway.
And I do have a letter from David giving Debbie permission to speak on his behalf.
All right, do you hereby declare and affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Please state your name and home address for the record.
Deborah Buckler, 27455 Evans Buckler Lane, Mechanicsville, Maryland, 20659.
Okay, please have a seat.
Thank you.
Would you please present your request?
Yes, I'm just requesting 90-day extension to finish the bathrooms. I'm just waiting on a special order sink that's been ordered forever ago that is supposed to be shipped out July 16th, and so we have our fingers crossed that that's going to happen.
Okay. That's the last hang-up, huh?
Yep, so if that sink gets delivered, the plumber will get that installed, and then we can finish that bathroom.
Okay.
What will you need conditional approval then from the health department or also Lugum also?
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll get all the, I was going to say MDI will come and inspect and all, and do all the inspections, the fire marshal and all those inspections have to be done.
Okay, so all three, correct? Okay.
Any members have any questions? Do we have a motion to approve?
I make a motion, we approve 90-day extension to Foxy Fish to David and Debbie Buckler.
We have a motion to grant the 90-day extension to the Foxy Fish for the premise, for extension of premise and new bathrooms and service hallway. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Member Cole seconds it. Discussion? None? All in favor? Aye. Nays? None? Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Next is Russell Store, Janet Draper, and Roger Buckler, requesting 90-day extension of conditional approval of outdoor seating.
Do you hereby declare and affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name and home address for the record.
Roger Buckler, 44896 Blake Creek Road, Leonardtown, Maryland.
Please have a seat.
And I do have a letter from Janet Draper giving Roger permission to speak on her behalf.
Thank you. Let's go ahead and present your request.
I'm just asking for an additional 90 days to finish up the paperwork, turn in everything. It's been a huge hiccup with Leonardtown, trying to get the right paperwork to the right people and doing whatever I need to do.
Okay. Very good. Any members have any questions?
Which agencies will this conditional be approval for?
Fire marshal's already approved, so I guess I'm waiting on health department and planning and zoning.
And Lugum, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Any more questions from the members? Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion that we approve Russell Store, Janet Draper, and Roger Buckler, their request for a 90-day extension of conditional approval for outside seating, dependent on approval from Land Use and Growth Management and the Health Department.
Okay, we have a motion
I'll second.
to approve. Do we have a second from Mr. Watts? Do we have any discussion? All in favor of the 90 days?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, next is Green Door. Brian Tarleton requesting 90-day extension of conditional approval of outdoor seating.
Okay. Do you hereby declare and affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, please state your name and home address for the record.
Brian Tarleton, 47950 Red Cedar Lane, St. Mary City.
Have a seat, please.
I'm requesting a 90-day extension because I'm still waiting on approval from the health department for outdoor seating, and that's pretty much where I am. And I'm not sure how long it's going to take. They don't seem to know how long it's going to take either. We're kind of in the negotiations if they're going to let me have any outdoor seating or not.
Okay. So, can we request 180 for this? This is new? No?
It's not a new building, it's
Okay.
just an outside.
So, that's what I figured, so.
Yeah.
Has there been any opposition, Brian, from the health department?
No.
No?
We just seem to be at I'm limited because I'm on private sewer. So I'm trying to
Oh,
get
I
some
see.
extra seating, and we're trying to see how we can work that out. And by their way of thinking, I might not be able to do that until next spring during the wet season when you can get perk tests.
Oh, so they would require a new, does your outside seating,
Yes,
it goes over top of the existing lines, is that correct?
correct. So I have to see what I can do to,
Mitigate that, huh?
yes.
Mhm.
So that's where I am with the health department. I might be able to do something before next spring, hopefully.
Yeah, because that seating area encompasses the whole back end of the,
Well, I only requested 8 additional seats. It wasn't like I was asking for a lot of seating.
Right.
But, if worse comes to worse, I'm not allowed any seating. People will just have to stand around or I can put benches out there.
Oh, I see. But your seating area itself, the fence runs the whole width of the building, correct?
Not quite.
Okay.
About 2/3.
I saw what headed south, I could see on the,
Right, well, that's just a
on the
temporary
left-hand side of,
fence until we can get approval from the health department and then put up the
fence that we've requested and have it approved by the fire marshal.
Okay.
So we're.
Okay, so that would require fire marshal also and the health department approval?
I'm not going to erect the fence until I get approval from the health department. There's no point in wasting money. I mean, I have a temporary fence,
Right.
but I wasn't going to build a permanent fence until this was approved by the health department and I could move forward and have things finalized.
So it's a capacity issue that the health department's concerned about, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't.
No, the seating area is over top of their existing septic.
No, the seating area is not over top of the septic. The seating area has nothing to do with the septic.
Oh,
It's the
okay.
number of seats that I am allowed because I'm on a private septic system.
Right.
Oh, I see.
If I want to add more seats,
Yes,
they want me to
more
add on to the
capacity.
septic
Got
system.
you,
Septic
got you,
system.
got you.
So I
Okay.
have to see how I can work around that and what I can do. Get some extra seating. If I can't get extra seating, I could put stand-up tables outside, I could put benches outside. But I'm trying to get approval for, 8 additional seats, which, doesn't seem to be that ridiculous of a request, but that's neither here nor there right now.
Okay.
Right, gotcha.
Any other members have any questions?
Well, so, I mean, if we grant a 90-day extension, I mean, is that,
He'll end
that
up
really
coming
gonna-
back again in 90 days again.
Wish you can give him.
well, I understand, but I mean, is that really going to, I'm happy to give you the 90-day extension, I just don't know if that's going to necessarily help you.
He would at the very least be coming back to give you an update.
Sure. So this isn't necessarily an alcohol question, but related, but I mean, with the health department, so this isn't necessarily an alcohol related specifically, but I mean, would the health department allow you to use, portable, porta-johns kind of thing to expand that capacity? Does that, just something to consider? I'm happy to do the extension, but I certainly want to see you succeed and, just throw that out there as something maybe to consider to take back to the health department as some way to allow you to kind of keep going and, certainly at least in the near term to be able to keep, get you what you need to do.
Is the fire marshal or the health department going off of what the fire marshal authorizes your capacity to be, to make that decision?
No, the health department has their own seating capacity based on your septic system,
Okay,
whereas the fire marshal's capacity is on your square footage.
right. So what if you take a seat away inside, wouldn't that kind of even
I
it out?
could do that, but, I want to keep my seating
Okay,
inside also.
I got you.
So I'm just trying to add some more
Expand.
seats.
Sounds good.
So it's basically just what the health department will allow him to do, right, at this point.
Right. Yeah, it just stinks to see you have to potentially come back every 90 days until next spring when perk season is back in, so.
That's all we can do for him.
I know, right? So,
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Do we have a motion to grant the 90-day extension?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the Green Door and Brian Tarleton for a 90-day extension for his outdoor seating while he works out his approvals from the health department.
Okay, so we have a motion to grant the requested 90-day extension of conditional approval for outdoor seating for the Green Door. Do we have a second?
I will second that.
We have a second. Discussion? None? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None? Thank you. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Luck.
Thank you.
Dave McKay Liquors. David McKay requesting a 180-day extension of conditional approval of location transfer store.
Do you hereby declare and affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, please state your name and home address for the record, David.
David McKay, 43251 Rescue Lane, Hollywood, Maryland, 20636.
Please have a seat, sir.
Hi.
Oh, sir. So go ahead and present your request, sir.
Well, I know I've requested this a couple times, but I do need another 180 days, and if possible. Someone mentioned the word hiccups a while ago. We've had a few hiccups as well. Plus, we've taken on, as you probably know, 2 shoppers, and that has delayed some of our funding for the project in Charlotte Hall.
So I'm going to try to clear this up for me.
Sure.
So you as a license holder with alcohol license and you want to move it, in this case, you're talking to us, you're the tenant. You're not
the landlord.
You're not the landlord.
That's correct. So the space is not available at this time.
Right. So it's been 3 years.
But I represent the landlord side as
Understand.
well.
But it's been 3 years too.
It has.
I mean, I think I'm good. For me, I think I'm good today with this. But I think in 180 days, I think for me, it's going to probably be the end of the road, because I could come in here and apply for something and come in here every 180 days for 10 years.
Sure. I do have the building permit, and I have received an extension on the building permit. Prior to COVID and prior to us taking over speaking of the landlord side, we were working on getting a loan. Again, we have the building permits. We're ready to go. It's just financially, on the landlord side, not quite able to do it at this time.
Okay.
Hopefully, within the next 180 days, those things will change.
Right.
And we'll be able to move forward.
Yes, sir. Questions from the members?
How far out do you think you are, David?
Again, we do have the building permit. Everything is ready to go. We sent out the bids back in the end of 2019. I'm speaking on the landlord side right now. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead. Right.
Okay. So we did send out the bids to have the building constructed. They came back a little high. I had to go back to renegotiate with the engineers, the architects, to get to where we can afford to build a building. And we were almost at that point, and then COVID hit, and the owners of Shoppers Food Warehouse came to us and wanted us to take over 2 of their buildings, and we did, and just put a financial constraint on us, but we're hoping to get past that now and hope to move forward within the next 180 days.
Mm-hmm.
We're ready to go. It's just we don't have the finances secured yet.
Okay. Any other members have questions?
So this would be conditioned upon all of the approvals then, David?
Well, we have our approvals. We can get...
You've got Luggo, land...
They haven't broke ground yet.
They got everything?
No, they haven't broke ground yet, so there's no way for them to have approvals.
Oh, I see.
But we have done all the state highway required work. We've done all the Metcom required work. We've done all the stormwater management work. Again, I'm speaking on the landlord side right now. Some of the SMECO work, put in over $4 million worth of work into the building, into the property. We're ready to go, it's just we don't have the financing to go forward quite yet.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had a little bit of a hiccup.
So I guess I'm trying to understand what it is we'd be approving 180 extension for.
We're
It sounds like
approving-
it's wanting to move from one location to another.
They have a plan.
But
They have a floor plan, and they've come and presented their plan in 2018, right?
2018, yes.
Of what the new location would be like,
It's supposed to go up in Charlotte.
the liquor store.
Okay.
And so that is what was approved conditionally, back in 2018. He's asking for an extension of that plan.
Okay. So it's basically just we're approving the extension of the plan form, the layout of the new
You're
location.
approving
Transfer.
the location transfer of a business. So it's like it's an application.
Okay, so, well, that's what I thought. So, but then my question is how are we approving a transfer when the building's not even broken ground yet? I mean, doesn't it make sense to, I understand wanting to try to maybe get those approvals before you spend the effort and energy to break ground on a new building, to make sure that, you're not just wasting money breaking ground on a building you can't transfer to, but.
If I can, I can answer that for you because I did present it in 2018. In order to build a building, you need approval from the beverage board because there's a lot of mechanical work, a lot of engineering work that has to go in.
Sure.
And you hate to go through that process of doing that engineering work and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars and not be able to get the approval. So that was one reason why I came in when I did at the time. And so as soon as I got the approval, then the engineers were able to start to work. So that's why we had to do it.
Normally, it's not this long. Normally, somebody's going to come in here, and they're going to say, I want to build this. And they're going to give you the drawings and plans, and we're going to, like any of these other approvals we do, we look it over and ask the questions. It's just been a long time.
Three years, apparently, which was before my time, so that's why I asked all
Oh,
these
yeah,
questions.
granted.
So I apologize.
No, that's okay.
Okay. So if, no, I know, you said you had concerns. and
I do have
rightly so.
concerns.
Yeah, so, but that gives you basically 180 days, right? 6 months and you haven't broken ground. I mean, it's.
I don't want to be in the business, I don't know about you guys, I don't want to be in the business of granting extensions for,
Infinitely
to a group of people. It could end up being 6, 7 businesses in here, as example.
Right.
I don't think that's what we're here to do. I don't think that's the most efficient way for us to conduct business.
Right.
And this is an unusual situation, but there's still not the first, no concrete poured, there's no block going up,
I agree.
There's nothing.
I mean, it's hard to do a lot when you had COVID going on as well. I mean, which we had no control over.
Yep. That's why I'm good for another 180 days to see if there can be some forward movement. But I don't think there's been any forward movement in the last 100 days because of COVID. So we're rolling out of that now. So.
Right.
Right.
Well, to that point too, Mr. Chairman, I understand your concern in the fact that this whole board, since the original application, has changed, membership-wise. So, that's a concern there, I would think.
I'd stand behind whatever the former board did or didn't do. I mean, I don't think any of us are here to rethink what our predecessors did.
Right.
But, I just want to get this resolved. I don't like seeing it on the agenda all the time.
Well, I guess one of the things that concerns me, right, just kind of speaking openly, is, I get COVID happened, right? That's, out of everybody's control, right? But, I mean, there was also a kind of a conscious decision to also pursue other paths, which I get as entrepreneurs. I'm an entrepreneur myself, right? You want to sometimes push the envelope on trying to expand, and but then when that challenges your ability to move forward on this project, right? Then that's also concerning to me. So, I mean, do you have a groundbreaking date? I mean, are the contractors lined up and on schedule and ready to begin? I mean, that's kind of where I would think we need to be at. If, given that you haven't even broken ground, do you at least have a schedule? Do you have firm commitments from the contractors? Supplies are available and ready to go. Do we have that?
So we do have the building permit, and we do have the extension of the building permit.
Right. But do you have a schedule, a groundbreaking date?
So when it was sent out to the contractor, we got bids back in. We were at that point at the end of 2019
right.
To get the bids, and we got the bids back in. We were slightly over budgeted. We asked everyone to go back out to rebid, went back to the architect, back to the engineers to make some adjustments to bring the price back down. And then COVID hit.
Sure. So I'll
that is-
ask again, do you have a date to break ground?
I do not, but I do have an end date with the building permit. You know, the building permit does expire, so.
Sure.
You know. and
When's that end date?
I've already got, pardon?
You know what that end date is?
It's next May.
Next May.
I'm pretty sure it's next May.
Right. Well, again, I mean, if we're going to grant 100 days, that's 6 months, right? I mean, I know for me personally, I'd feel more comfortable if you said, hey, we're breaking ground next week, right? I need 6 months, you know, and I've got firm dates from these contractors that have everything laid out. They've got materials on supply. They're ready to go. But I kind of feel like you don't have any of that. So
No, I disagree with you. We've spent over $1 million on state highway work up there. We've done all the state highway work that we had to do.
Sure.
We've done all the Metcom work that we've had to do. We've done all the storm water management that we've had to do up there.
Sure.
We've done some of the SMECO work that we've had to do. I mean, a lot of that, believe it or not, is things that, you know, people sometimes break ground on the building first and then complete the state highway work later. We haven't done that yet, but
I
we have
understand.
done a lot of work up there.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but it doesn't sound like you've got a schedule, right, that is going to ensure that you're going to be able to get this done in 180 days.
We probably will not be able to get that building up in 180 days. Hopefully, we will well be under, I mean, you know, we'll start the footers and so on and so forth. But we have done quite a bit of work up there.
When does the current extension that he's under expire?
It's,
It is.
It
Go
has
ahead.
expired?
Yeah, it's.
but they're extended under COVID.
Yeah, it was extended under COVID, and then now they're coming before you for added time.
I guess from where my perspective is, before I would be comfortable granting him 180 days, I'd like to at least see a contractor's build schedule to say, we're breaking ground on this day, we have a plan that we're going to proceed forward. And honestly, even if that schedule says it's going to take more than 180 days and we might have to give them a second extension, I'd be okay with that. But right now, I mean, there's no plan.
So,
There's no plan.
so another issue, I guess, is going to be is an estimate of construction in 2019 dollars of pre-COVID material costs. A piece of plywood now is what, $75
More than that?
or more than that now?
Yeah.
I mean, so, you know, you figure the costs probably have gone up 30%
Correct.
or better. You know, plus the labor shortages and stuff and how long it's going to take and
Right.
That's why he hasn't made a deal.
Yeah, everything has to be rebid.
Yeah.
So what's his investment so far for the permit?
That I wouldn't know.
No, I'm talking about his alcohol permit.
Oh, well, he's still got his alcohol license at the current shop.
Right, but the transfer is
The transfer, well,
it's nominal, right?
nothing yet. I mean, the
Right.
$66 for the
Okay,
advertising.
I'm just trying to
Yeah,
look at,
yeah. Oh, I understand now. Okay, I'm sorry. I wasn't quite sure what the question meant. Let me see if it was the $66 for his advertising of the application, the original application of
Okay.
transfer.
and if the extension wasn't granted and they came and they reapplied later on, then they could be granted the 365, what's the max?
It's still 180, the max.
Just sold 180, okay,
For new
for new build,
construction.
okay. So,
So in other words, straighten me out, because I wasn't here when he applied 3 years ago.
I wasn't either.
So, if you don't get approval of, get the funds to continue, what is your purpose and plan to do? Just drop it?
Well, we hope not. I mean, we've already invested over $4 million in that property, so we have done a lot of work already.
I realize that, I
So
really do, and
we would have to go back and re-engineer the building, you know, go back to the architect and
So if we were
May
to
have
say-
to build it in smaller sections. It is it's approved for 112,000 square feet. The shopping center, we may have to build a certain section at one time, then come back and build another section at another time.
Okay. But if we don't approve it, I guess my question is, can he come back and reapply?
Yes.
Okay.
But it sounds like if he's also got it almost sounds like he's going to have to come back and reapply
I
if there's
feel that way,
potential
too, because he
design
doesn't have the
changes
funds.
Yeah,
in the
well, if
plan.
design changes, he has to.
Right,
Yes,
so-
and everything else has too.
So that, I'm even more kind of solidified in my position that, we need a plan, to approve. If this is going to be new now in sections and the design might have to change because of either the
I don't
cost
know.
or schedule, then, what's that new design plan, right? Because now we're granting an extension on a plan that may not even be the plan anymore.
Well, again, I would hope it consists of a supermarket, 15,000 square feet, and 5 out parcels. I don't think with the engineering, the amount of money that we spent in the engineering and the design of the supermarket, I doubt very seriously if that will change.
Sure.
Again, we may not build this out parcel yet, or we may not build the 15,000 square foot, but as a tenant, the part that I'm leasing from the landlord, I don't foresee that changing at all.
Yeah, this isn't going to impact your current situation, right, where you're currently at. Is it purely an approval
Yes.
for the new
For the transfer to the new
facility?
facility.
Transfer.
Yes, sir.
And that's my concern I would feel much more comfortable if we had, after you're able to renegotiate with again, cost changes and schedule changes, what is the new facility now going to look like that we would be approving, not necessarily what the grand scheme is, but at the day you want to transfer, what is that going to look like? And is it a smaller footprint, larger footprint?
I don't see that changing any different than what it was presented in 2018, that part.
Okay, then I must have misunderstood than what you're saying.
Again, what may not get built may be certain out parcels or the 15,000 square foot addition.
Sections that wouldn't impact the alcohol aspect of.
Would not have, that's correct, would not have.
Yeah. When was the last time you talked to the contractor you've got doing the building?
2020, I think it was.
Okay, so.
Not this year.
Okay, yeah. I can't in good conscience approve that. I'm sorry. I'd like to at least see, a schedule that, hey, we're going to be breaking ground on this day. I would feel 1,000 times more comfortable at least with that.
We have any
I
other
think,
questions?
and quite honestly, we really have already broken ground. With the state highway work that we've done.
But not on the building itself. We're not approving the state highway work. We're
The
approving the building.
stormwater work that we've already done
I
in
understand.
there.
We're approving the building and what the building looks like and the ability to safely retail alcohol in that building, not the state highway.
And so far, that hasn't changed.
But there's no plan right now to have that building completed in 180 days. So
Even if we started putting footage in today, there's no way we're going to get that built in 180 days. You can't build a supermarket
You're
in
absolutely right.
180 days.
and I'm not disagreeing with you, but at least I would know that there's progress being made within the next 180 days that we could then come back and more comfortably say, request a potential follow-on extension. Right now, we're approving an extension for a non-entity. There's no building, and there's no plan to break ground on this building.
Well, to be fair, any 180-day process could fall under that description of no building.
Things could change.
Right.
Correct, but again, some of those plans at least have, schedules and ground break dates and haven't been extended for 3+ years. I guess it's not necessarily just the one thing, it's kind of a culmination of a series of different things that are kind of adding up that just.
It's not that we haven't done anything in the last 3 years. We've doing all that state highway work, completing the Metcon, bringing water there to the property.
When is the building going to get built?
Well, hopefully, again, our building permit runs out at the end of May or beginning of May, I think it is. We're hoping that we can secure a loan. Everything has to go back out. I mean, with COVID, everything was pretty much put on a standstill.
I understand.
I mean, we'll have to send the bids back out again.
Yeah, and yeah, I understand. I guess from my perspective, I'm not the only member of the board, or only one member of the board. My perspective is come back when you've got a plan to break ground on the building, and then we can move forward. But right now, there's nothing there. Nothing that I can feel comfortable about approving, other than there's water and a road.
There's water, there's sewage there.
I understand.
Stormwater's been completed. Over $4 million worth of work has already been done.
Yeah, I understand.
But this is only one small segment of the business. There's going to be an entire grocery store. There's going to be other businesses there. This is just
The alcohol.
transfer of one liquor store from point A to point B.
Right.
David, refresh my memory as to where the transfer of the license is coming from. Where was that located?
Right now, it's at Mohawk Drive, Charlotte Hall, Maryland.
Okay, so it's the Charlotte Hall McKay's up there, right?
That's correct.
You're going to take that liquor license, move it across the road
And
into
down. That's
into
correct.
the new facility. Okay.
Yes,
Gotcha.
sir.
Gotcha. So that license itself, however, stays intact until the grand opening of the new store,
The new liquor store.
of the liquor element of this new facility.
Correct.
Correct? Okay.
Any other questions? Do I have a motion of one kind or another?
I'll make a motion that we disapprove a 180-day extension for the transfer.
Okay. We have a motion to not approve the 180-day extension. Do we have a second? We do not. Discussion? Okay, members,
Motion dies.
guess we need to have some discussion. What do you guys want to do?
I think we should consider giving him another 180 days and see what happens in that time frame. I mean, I know he was thrown a kink like everybody else has been kink for the last past year, so I mean, hopefully he can get his funds and he can move on. A lot can happen in 6 months.
Yeah, he's not going to, maybe the landlord and make progress.
Yes.
That's correct.
But then after that time frame, then
So,
it might be a wash.
so let me float this idea out. Grant the 180-day extension. Or, how many months is that to May 5th?
It's over a year. It's got a year.
To May 5th now?
Next
For this-
year?
next year?
Of next year.
What is that, 10?
10 months. 10
10
months.
Okay.
Talking about the building permit?
So, yeah, I was looking at so we grant them the 180 days, well, maybe. And then in 180 days, comes back in here. We'll see if there's see where they're at. Has there been any forward progress? Maybe have the landlord come in here and explain the situation and when they're going to sit there and provide ground for their, a roof for their tenant.
Or if you want to come back in 30, three. You can
That's
do
what I was
90.
thinking, the
You can do
90
and then-
90 and then maybe 180 and then it's into the road, the building permit.
Comes back in 90, you'd be able to tell you where he's at again, maybe.
I don't know if 90 is enough.
3 months?
I don't know if 90 is enough. Not under the circumstances.
You know,
Cost of material, labor.
Well, if we did 180, that would be 6 months, And then another 90 on top of that would be,
If we did.
if we did it, that would be
9 months.
9 months. And you're looking at approximately 10 months before the permitting is gone,
So,
something else to consider.
They can also request an extension on the permitting as well.
And you only have
On the
to
permit itself?
start building within the year. You don't have to complete it.
right, exactly.
Right.
Some
So-
progress.
So then we end up just kind of chasing our tails, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's granting, I guess, I mean, I would be comfortable with, with a smaller extension to come back at some point and be able to show us a plan on when the building is going to be able to break ground. I'm not as concerned about the cost of the materials and things like that. I mean, that's unfortunately on him to have to bear. But what's the plan to break ground, right? And again, right now, that's my concern. There is no
Understand.
plan to break ground.
Understand.
So, does that,
But that's not really his, as a tenant, that's not his position to be in. He's been promised a space, and they have a verbal agreement or something, maybe, who knows, if I have a written agreement, but
but in some ways it was, right? I mean, it sounds like funding became an issue too when they decided to pursue other investments, and then that strained the funding, which then also belabored the execution of the new building, right? So I mean, that's again where I'm concerned is, I mean, I'm all for, again, trying to expand and pursue other investments, but then when that hampers the thing that we're trying to approve, and then to come in and ask for an approval.
I get it. Their priorities are to you, the priorities of this store were not the number one priority, or even the number two priority necessarily.
Right.
I get it. So how about 90 days? 90-day extension. Would that satisfy your
I'd be good,
curiosity?
yes, sir. I'd be good with 90 days, kind of conditional upon, coming back to the board with, at least some more progress in negotiations with the landlord or whoever's going to be breaking ground and building this building to say, yeah, this is going to happen.
Okay.
I'd be okay with that.
Anybody else? Barbara, thoughts?
No, I think you should give him some time to come back to be able to,
That's what we're saying, 90 days.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, at least 90 days.
Okay.
Yes. And maybe by that point, you'll know a little bit more, hopefully. I mean, I know if you put a lot into it, and it's a big lot, and it looks good, I know where you're coming from, but, I hate to see it just fall apart.
Right.
Member Cole?
Yeah, I think, if we do this 90-day, my concern would be, are we looking at, I'm thinking that obviously that you can do something with that 90 days. Am I correct, David?
I think so. I believe
Okay, you think so?
It's we'll set it out. I have to talk to the contractors, talk to the bank.
Right.
Find out, where we're at again, and
Okay, well, I want to put forward then that at the end of that 90 days, are we going to have then, a request then for the 180-day extension to,
That'll have to be discussed then.
okay. But that's potentially something that could occur.
It could occur.
Could occur, okay, may not.
Or it may be then to the end of the discussion and there's no more extensions.
Right, okay.
But I'm
Okay.
sure that Mr. McKay came in here today thinking that there's no problem getting a 180-day extension, and he's, as most people are conditioned to, we're going to say yes, and today, but it's an extraordinary circumstance because it's 3 years. But, so let's give the gentleman a little time to be able to regroup and come in here and be able to present a better case, better argument. Because I don't think I wouldn't have been prepared to come in here today necessarily with this expectation. So, I think it's fair. Motion?
I make a motion that we give him an extension of 90 days to David McKay to get things more organized and present to us in that time frame and go from there.
So I think we have to do two things. Mr. Beaver?
Sorry?
Don't we have to do two things here? Do we first have to do to deny the motion?
No.
I don't, no? Okay.
The first motion failed for failure to get a second, so that motion failed.
That was not the motion, though, to grant him 180 days. It was to grant him nothing.
The original motion made by Mr. Watts was not to grant the application for 180 days.
Yes.
There was no second on that motion, so
Okay,
that
correct.
motion fails.
Okay, yes.
So now we're back to a clean slate.
Okay. So we have a motion
Make the motion, yes.
for 90 days for David McKay Liquor. David McKay requesting, has been denied, so we're going to, the motion is to grant a 90-day extension of conditional approval of location transfer of the store.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Watts seconds it. Are we done with discussion? Okay, the dead dog's been beat. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nays? None. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
Good luck, Mr. McKay.
Okay, new business. First one's going to be Quality Street Kitchen and Catering. Application of Sharon A. Purcell to transfer Quality Street Kitchen and Catering, Q Street Catering, and Culinary Arts LLC, Class B restaurant, BWL license located from 41675 Fenwick Street, Leonardtown, Maryland, to 41655 Park Avenue, Leonardtown, Maryland, 20650. Please come forward and be sworn in.
Raise your hand, please. Do you hereby declare and affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name and home address for the record.
Sharon Purcell, 48644 Wren Road in Ridge, Maryland, 20680.
Please have a seat.
Please present your application, ma'am.
Well, what I'm requesting with moving from, excuse me, the Fenwick address, I'm going to be moving into the hotel. I'm leasing part of that, the new hotel that's been done. And I want to transfer my liquor license to that new address.
Okay.
And I have I don't know if you guys need to see this, but I am going to be leasing the bar area for the hotel guest. I want you to know that we are not there's too many places in Leonardtown to get drinks. This is just like a hospitality thing. But from maybe 6 to 9, no later than 9 p.m. We might possibly do brunches on Saturday or Sunday. That's, maybe 11 to 2. So it's really, and my retail space will be there as well. So it's basically just transferring my one address to another address.
Okay. So what permits does she need?
Well, she needs everything.
She needs everything.
But,
Okay.
Is that what you're asking for different than what you brought in your application?
I don't think so.
Is that included in here?
Brian gave you. May I bring this up?
Yes, please. Yeah.
So I just put on here, the bar area is in this area. Everything will be locked.
Oh, okay, I see it
You
here.
see?
So you see
Okay.
where bar storage is? Okay,
Yes,
so
yeah.
you guys got this?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, she confused me when she said bar. It's the middle
Area.
area, and it does say bar. I'm sorry,
Yes.
Sharon. But you are a restaurant license, so you have to maintain that ratio.
Yes.
Okay.
No, she said it was only hospitality. They wouldn't be doing a lot of business.
And I'm also asking the health department, my current number at the space on Fenwick was 15. When we did classes, that's what it would pretty much hold. But this is a larger space, so I'm asking that to be increased from 15 to 20. It's more than double the space that we had before.
Talking the number of classes.
Not talking the number of people.
Per class,
Per
yeah,
class. That's okay?
That's not there.
Oh, okay. I put it to the health department, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, you're in different square footage than
Yes,
your little
yes.
place on Fenwick.
Yes, and it's wonderful.
Very good.
Mr. Purcell, the space on Fenwick, was that going to simply be catered?
No, it had catering, retail, and wine.
Was there a kitchen on Fenwick?
Yes.
There was, huh? I just can't remember.
Yeah, yeah. And all of that is being transferred over, and the health department has to give me the occupancy before I can do the transfer of the license.
Where on this drawing, then, is the kitchen located?
Where it says kitchen.
Yeah.
I can't.
I know they're tiny.
Here, it's the full
Kitchen.
drawing.
Kitchen,
You can-
way over here. Okay, and these are,
It says storage. It says bar storage, probably where they keep the liquor.
Yes, it'll
Okay.
be locked at all
so they're
times.
going to run through here and over to here, correct?
I don't know yet.
I don't know. From your kitchen area,
That's where
then-
the stove and
yeah, right. Where is the only seating area in the bar area, or?
oh, no, there'll be across the counter like it was originally at the, where I am now.
It'll be across the counter, the bar area?
D-
Uh-huh.
She's got it written as breakfast area, but if you're.
So this
trying-
is where the line will be running. The cooking, when they do catering, and when we do classes. We have a countertop that, well, I guess it's come out here. And we do classes.
Okay, and this is a seating area here? Is that
And
correct?
This is more retail space.
That's more, where's your seating at, then?
It's going to be at the counter that runs across the front.
Oh, okay.
We don't do restaurant, we just do
That,
classes.
I guess that's where I'm confused, yeah. Okay. Another question for you, that you're going to be located in the hotel itself,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Are you going to provide any kind of service to hotel guests?
If they want to come in and,
No, I mean, would they be able to call down and say, well, we'd like
no.
this or that?
No.
No, okay. So it's not, in that sense,
I don't know that will eventually happen, but
She's got to testify from.
Yeah, yeah.
here,
I'm
please.
sorry.
I'm sorry, yeah. Well, once again, Ms. Purcell, the question would be that your company then would provide in-room service to hotel guests, I guess is my question.
no, not
No,
sir.
is the answer to that.
If we had like a grab-and-go type thing, do you know what, where you make up salads and whatnot, people could buy that, but we're not a restaurant per se, or catering.
But you would not be allowed to, you could buy, let's say, a salad to go or sandwich to go or something like that. However, no alcohol sales then to hotel guests. Am I correct with that, Tammy?
Well, that's what we're planning because of the bar area that.
No, he's talking about at room service
Oh,
or
no,
to
no,
go.
no, no, no. They
Or-
won't go beyond, the liquor won't go beyond the elevators, first floor.
That would be where it's contained within
Yes.
your leased
Yes, my
space,
lease.
correct? Okay. All right, thank you.
Any other members have questions?
You know, the guests are going to ask for room service.
Oh, I'm not going to do it, though. I'm sorry.
I mean, because
I think-
that's what they're going to assume. That's,
Yeah.
I think, what Mr. Cole is trying to get at
Right.
there.
Well, my brother's the one that has the
Not
hotel,
an
Brian.
employee of the hotel, so
No,
that's two
she's not.
separate entities.
You're not an employee of the hotel,
Yeah.
you're a tenant.
Right.
But guests don't know the backstory, so they want what they want. You've got to remember what your license, whatever they, you know,
Right.
and what you've applied for.
Okay.
Is there value added in having signage or requiring signage of some sort that, as we've done in other instances of, no alcohol beyond this point sort of thing? And,
Well,
just to
her,
help inform those guests that,
We will have signage, yes, especially on the elevators.
okay.
okay, and then you have your vestibules marked out. Is that the foyers?
The foyer area in the front?
Yeah.
No, I'm not, to my knowledge, I don't know that that's,
Because you have.
It is marked, it is marked on your
You have
site
vestibule
plan.
marked on here.
okay, well, then if that's what Brian gave you, I'm not sure the area. So there is a little space between where my doors will be and where the hotels will be.
Because they have
So
you,
there's a little
they have
area
you in
there.
the main lobby.
Pardon me?
They have you have the same drawing, correct, that you submitted? They have you in the main lobby.
Right, that will be for the bar that is being installed.
No.
Something-
I'm sorry, Sharon. I'm good. May I?
When you walk in, are you going left or right?
When we walk in, I go left.
Okay, so that was where the registration was of the old hotel.
And see, that's all gone. That's moved to the other side.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So you're taking over the old space of where registration was at?
Yes.
Okay, so there's and you're talking the space in between the alcove
Yes.
and,
This is what was submitted, Steve, and this is what she has to answer to.
right, I'm
Understood.
giving you the,
But Sharon, I know when this was brought in, it wasn't brought in by you. You were in surgery or after
Right,
surgery.
yes.
Did you take a good look at this, and is this what you've agreed to? Come on up, then.
Yeah, I think that the issue here is that it looks like everything down here on this floor
Yeah.
is yours. Under this,
Including the hotel.
that's why I was
the
trying to
stripes.
So you see, they
walk a picture in your mind. If you remember what the old hotel looked like, the registration was on the left-hand side, which is a very large area. She's taken over that spot because they've moved the registration to the other side, in between separating the other side where registration's at and her is
So
just the
this is-
alcove of entrance.
This is Park Avenue here, right?
Patrons need to use the
I
bathroom.
couldn't tell you.
Not to
I
carry on
believe,
from the-
I believe this is the front.
So we need to
So-
modify that.
But I don't
Yeah.
think she's getting this. I think that's the problem. I think all this
Okay,
little
so
stuff,
we definitely need a
is
modification of the
not her.
drawing then, correct?
I think she's getting this,
Okay.
she's in this.
Right,
Makes more sense
right.
if that doesn't.
That's what I think, too.
She's going to make a modification of the drawing that I sent to you, that was dropped off on her behalf,
Okay.
because what she's talking to you, which makes sense, is from this breakfast area that's labeled out from here back to the kitchen.
Yeah,
This other area is the vestibule and the lobby.
That's the hotel itself.
So
Which
she
is
has-
marked here as, but that's not, you agree, that's not where your service stops
Yes.
at the end of your dining bar area?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, here's my confusion, Tammy. This, I think, Ms. Purcell, is the main entrance for the
Yes.
hotel, right?
Right.
Park Avenue is across the top of this drawing, correct? Okay,
She's going out from here.
okay.
None of
Makes a
this.
little more sense, you know?
This is-
Can we have a drawing next time that does not have all the blue rules in it?
This is what.
A level of
here's
real confusion.
Over.
Yes.
This is not yet.
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever, like I said, Ms. Purcell was in surgery when
It's
the
this.
drawing was, she had somebody bring the drawing.
And cutting off.
It looks
right
like maybe that drawing was not something you actually looked at prior? Yeah.
They should have
Okay.
taken,
Yeah,
Can I have
just
her
right here, all that.
scratch this out, or does she need to
Did you
submit
get
a
this?
brand new?
I think she has to bring in another one, but I don't think that stops us today.
I forgot to print.
Okay.
It can be conditional
Makes sense,
on,
though.
Additional upon a new site.
New
Okay.
floor plan.
that can be taken care of inside the office.
Yeah,
Sorry, Sharon.
That's
My
okay.
fault, I'm sorry.
okay.
Do we need her to update that drawing, or before we, yeah.
Right, it can,
Well, did you say they could do conditional?
this is
upon any-
conditional
Entirely up to
anyway.
you. If you want to make it conditional upon an amended site plan, you could do it that way, or ask her to come back with the new site plan.
I think she can, this is what she wants.
Right, yeah, no, I know,
I think we
Yeah.
all know exactly what they want, but I think the plan has to be documented correctly.
Agreed.
Since this is conditional approval, it can be
conditional. upon
conditional on this too, and let the office take care of this.
Purcell, this is conditional on land use and growth management, fire, and
Yes.
health, anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, she needs,
Yes.
A
yes,
90-day conditional on that, or however much you want.
I would go.
And at that time, then a modified drawing also in that period,
Right.
okay?
Okay.
I mean, it's not like somebody asks them for approval for outdoor, activities and stuff where we have to worry a lot about the safety short term. This is,
Right.
Fairly straightforward with an updated drawing.
anything else, ma'am?
No.
No. Members, any other questions?
No, sir.
So basically, we're moving a business from Fenwick Street over to the hotel. Same business.
Yes.
Correct. But there is still build out over in the hotel, correct?
That's,
For your plans, right?
The counter's not on the drawing. You're going to be putting the counter in.
Yes.
Yeah, the counter should be probably put on here. We understand where the counter's going, but it should be on this drawing.
Okay.
But at the same time, you have it conditioned on land use and growth management, fire and health approval.
Yes.
Okay.
We have the fire marshal approval for the hotel. That's all been done.
So you have fire, you
I
said.
I haven't received anything from
Okay.
any of
Okay, so-
the agencies, so it would
Right.
have to be conditional on all.
Okay.
All right.
Fire, health,
And land use and growth management.
UNO, it's Leonardtown, so it's not Logan, it's Leonardtown.
Oh, at Leonardtown planning and zoning, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
okay. Members have any other questions? No? Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve Quality Street Kitchen and Catering, the application of Sharon A. Purcell to transfer Quality Street Kitchen and Catering, Q Street Catering and Culinary Arts LLC, a Class B restaurant, beer, wine, and liquor license, location from 41675 Fenwick Street, Leonardtown, Maryland, 20650, to 41655 Park Avenue, Leonardtown, Maryland, 20650. This would be a 90-day conditional approval pending Leonardtown Planning and Zoning, I believe is what it's called, Fire Marshal and Health Department agency approvals, and also a revised site plan for the interior of the business.
Okay, that's a mouthful.
Yeah.
So we have a motion from Member Cole to, for a 90-day conditional approval for Quality Street Kitchen and Catering, application of Sharon A. Purcell to transfer Quality Street Kitchen and Catering, Q Street Catering and Culinary Arts LLC, Class B Restaurant, BWL license location from 41675 Fenwick Street, Leonardtown, Maryland, 20650, to 41655 Park Avenue, Leonardtown, Maryland, 20650. That's a 90-day conditional approval pending on fire, health, L&O, and a revised site plan for the facility.
Okay.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Good luck.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
What's the new hotel going to be called?
Oh, it's the Inn at Park Avenue Hotel.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Mr. Watts, did you second?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I know I'm so quiet and shy, it's hard to hear me sometimes.
That was a bit much.
I was looking at Barbara a second, and she didn't say anything, so I figured it. Thank you.
Barbara's got a deeper voice these days, I guess.
Any licensee applicant for a license or group of not less than 10 persons who are residents or real estate owners in the district in which a licensed place of business is located or proposed to be located may, within 30 days from the date of any final decision of the board in approving, suspending, revoking, restricting, or refusing to approve, suspend, revoke, or restrict any license or licensee, appeal such a decision to the Circuit Court for St. Mary's County. The appellate shall be required to pay in advance a sum of money reasonably estimated to cover the expense of transcribing the hearing of the decision being appealed. Okay, new business, next on the list. Lex Wine and Spirits, application of Roland, is it Melise, and Vine Win to transfer Lex Liquor, Wine and Spirits, WER7 LLC, Class A1 BWL license from Aljit Singh and trade as Lex Wine and Spirits, Yorva LLC, 46400 Lexington Village Way, 101 Lexington Park, Maryland, 20653.
Raise your hand, please. Do you hereby declare and affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth and nothing but the truth? Okay. Please state your name and home address for the record.
Roland Melius, 43998 Frazier Lane, California, Maryland, 206.
43998 Frazier Lane, California, Maryland, 2061.
Please have a seat.
So go ahead and present your application, please.
We are looking to purchase and take over the business of Lex Liquor, Wine, and Spirits from Ajit Singh, owner of WER7 LLC.
Okay. Members, questions?
Upon approval, when would this purchase occur?
As in the closing date?
I'm sorry?
As in the closing date?
Yes.
We're planning for tomorrow.
For tomorrow, huh?
And you hold no other liquor licenses in St. Mary's County?
We do not own any other liquor licenses, no.
Members have any questions?
Let me go through this.
Tammy, were we waiting on anything else from them, or?
Yes, Mr. Millies, although he's put in the application, he needs to bring a copy of his trader's license.
Okay.
They have to do a change of occupancy. closing date, and the outgoing ownership needs to get clearance from the comptroller's office. They have put a hold on the transfer until that liability is cleared.
Okay.
Section 20 in the application, statement of owner of premises, it says see attached. Do we have that?
Yes, sir, it's part of you have 4 pages to that. That was the Echo Lexington LLC company. They are out of state.
Oh, I see,
Yes.
yeah. Okay, very good, yeah.
And this floor plan is presented as the floor plan that's presently there, correct?
Correct. We
Okay.
made no change, or we're not.
There's no changes here?
No changes, no.
Okay.
Your front door is at the top of the drawing, correct?
Yeah.
Yep, your front door is by the office and the counter, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then, I guess this, then behind the office is your counter and register running along this wall?
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right, very good.
Any other questions, members?
What do we have it conditioned on?
It is conditional on change of occupancy, trader's license, clearance from the comptroller's office on the current ownership, and closing.
Okay. So do we have a motion? You want me to frame the motion?
If you could frame the motion. I'll make the motion. I don't have all their address.
May I have a motion to grant a 90, this would be a 90-day conditional, correct?
Yeah, that's his most.
Approval for the application of Ronald Millies and Vane Nguyen to transfer Lex Liquor, Wine and Spirits, WER 7 LLC, Class A1 BWL license from Ajit Singh and trade as Lex Wine and Spirits, Yorva LLC 46400 Lexington Village Way, number 101, Lexington Park, Maryland 20653. This would be a 90-day conditional based on clearance from the comptroller, closing, change of occupancy, and a trader's license. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll make the motion as framed by the chairman.
Okay, we have a motion.
I'll second that motion.
We have a second. Discussion? None? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Roland, like you and I discussed, as you get that paperwork, bring it into the office, all right?
Okay.
All right, then. Take care.
Any licensee, applicant for a license, or group of not less than 10 persons who are residents or real estate owners in the district in which the licensed place of business is located or proposed to be located may, within 30 days from the date of any final decision of the board in approving, suspending, revoking, restricting, or refusing to approve, suspend, revoke, or restrict any license or licensee, appeal such a decision to the Circuit Court for St. Mary's County. The appellate shall be required to pay in advance a sum of money reasonably estimated to cover the expense of the transcribing the hearing of the decision being appealed. Next item on the agenda, the Real Food Studio. Application for Lisa Marie Kelly to purchase a Class B restaurant BWL license and trade as Real Food Studio Eat Real LLC, 41566 Medley's Neck Road, Leonardtown, Maryland 20650, and permission for catering, extension of premise for outdoor seating on patio and extra serving counter.
Okay. Do you hereby declare and affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name and home address for the record.
Lisa Kelly, 20829 Chestnut Ridge Drive, Leonardtown, Maryland.
Thank you. Please have a seat.
And for the board, just recently, Ms. Kelly explained that she is withdrawing at this time her request for the extension of premise, outdoor seating, and portable bar at the outside due to, she hasn't put in the permits for that yet, so she doesn't want to be held up on.
She wants to get the interior open.
Right, and then
moving.
she'll come back. So
And then
that,
come back.
that part of the request can be
And the extra
scrapped.
serving counter scratched too?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then, Lisa, I'm sorry, I just found out yesterday, do you have a catering license with the health department currently?
Yes. No.
Okay, I was going to say,
Yeah.
because
No.
that's the information I got.
Yeah.
So it would be pending that you get that, okay?
Yeah, we do with Ruddy Duck, but not this.
Okay, so is that something you want? Because that's for off-site, so this
We
isn't, that you
are
still want
applying
that
for
on
that
here?
At
Okay,
this location.
just want to make sure, okay.
Okay, go ahead and present your case.
Pardon me?
You want to present your application?
So I would like to open a restaurant, catering facility, and juice bar at our location, which we purchased 2 years ago, the former Fat Boys on Medley's Neck Road. So we've renovated it, and we're operating right now as a farmer's market, but we're getting ready to build a big kitchen and juice bar. We'd like the ability to sell alcohol and serve alcohol.
Okay.
Please.
So this would be a 90-day conditional approval with the approval of land use and growth management, health and fire, correct?
Yes.
Those agencies? Okay.
And a trader's license?
Yes.
And trader's license?
Yes, sir.
So you mentioned that you were planning to build the kitchen, or the kitchen is there
We
now?
currently have a kitchen, we're expanding it.
Okay, you're just expanding it. Okay.
So that requires all new Ansel system, I'm assuming?
Yep.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly where this is. How far this away from the church? This is not a problem, right? Okay.
No, it shouldn't be.
It's a
Been a
distance.
bar for quite a long time.
It's just been a long time since I.
Problem before, it shouldn't be a problem.
Well, I knew it was a bar before.
It was the original school for the parish, but that's dating it. Will you serve brunch after Sunday Mass?
Actually, they have approached us to do, to use the community room for Sunday school classes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that would be a totally separate area from, but yes, we will do brunch and chef's dinners and things like
Because
that.
I'll be there for brunch.
Right.
After Mass, not before.
Where it is, it's not far from the church.
Any other questions?
Okay. You said, Ms. Kelly, that you and your husband purchased the property?
I
Or,
did. Mhm.
what, a couple years ago?
In 2019.
19, huh? Okay. Yeah, it's been
Well-
many different things, you know?
We had, it had been empty for 6 years.
Right.
And during that period of time, we're in the critical area. So the building lost its commercial zoning. So we had to go through the entire, it's taken us all this time. We just got the zoning reinstated a couple months ago. So
Is this far enough up the hill that it's not within the floodplain of Maudire's?
yeah, no, it's not in the floodplain.
Oh, okay, good.
Yes.
Because
thank goodness.
that's
Yeah,
always
an
a
issue.
problem if
Well,
we
they
have.
put the road closed sign in our driveway, but we're far enough away. So we have not had an issue at all.
Okay, not yet.
Not yet.
Maybe this
Don't say.
afternoon. We don't know.
Never gone that far up.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve Real Food Studio, the application for Lisa Marie Kelly to purchase a Class B restaurant, beer, wine, and liquor license, and to trade as the Real Food Studio, Eat Real LLC, at 41566 Medley's Neck Road, Leonardtown, Maryland, 20650. And permission for catering, correct? This would be a conditional 90-day approval, awaiting land use and growth management, fire marshal, health department, and trader's license approvals.
Do you have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a second. Discussion? I think I do. I'm still like to know about the catering part, because I don't think we had a discussion about that. How's that being executed? Are you going to have is this going to be catering to parties and people's properties, and how are you going to deal with the alcohol, transporting it from your business to the site? Do you have a plan for that?
Well, we do, and we have been doing this in this county for 20 years through our other businesses, and so very much the same. I mean, the alcohol would be stored in our storage areas in this building. We have trucks and vans that, we would transport the alcohol. We understand the limitations and the liabilities that come to off-site premises, off-site catering. So I don't see that as a big part of our business, but I want the ability to do it. We get a lot of requests all the time, and this is going to be where I'm going to be full-time, and so more than anything, I just want the ability to be able to do that. So, but as far as how it would be handled and transferred, I mean, we would be able to receive it, store it in our location, and then in any of our company vehicles, it would be transported and served.
Okay, go ahead.
Does that answer your question?
Go ahead.
Yeah. You mentioned now that you've done this with other businesses, is that correct? Do you currently have, so you do not have a liquor license?
I do not, no.
With the other businesses, right?
No, I
Do
do
any of your partners
No.
have anything like that? No? So this is a full-blown new venture with the catering,
Yeah.
okay? My question then is, do we need any kind of documentation on transportation of?
We give out a catering privilege on our licenses as long as the business has a catering privilege on their health department permit. So
Okay.
when she turns that in, we'll look.
Okay, very good.
Thank you. Any more discussion about this? Sorry, I should have asked that question earlier.
Yeah.
Good question.
Slide.
Okay. Do we have a motion? I mean, we have a first, we have a second, we've done discussion. I'm going to call a vote. Who's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Good luck.
Thank you.
The other one.
Any licensee, applicant for a license, or group of not less than 10 persons who are residents or real estate owners in the district in which the licensed place of business is located or proposed to be located may within 30 days from the date of any final decision of the board in approving, suspending, revoking, restricting, or refusing to approve, suspend, revoke, or restrict any license or licensee, appeal such decision to the Circuit Court for St. Mary's County. The appellate shall be required to pay in advance a sum of money reasonably estimated to cover the expense of transcribing the hearing of the decision being appealed. Next item, premise changes. Action Lounge and Billiards, Janine Suite, requesting outdoor seating.
Y'all raise your hand. And do you hereby declare and affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. Please state your names and home address for the record.
Jeannie Suit, 26055 Laurel Grove Road, Mechanicsville, Maryland, 20659.
2848 Ridge Road, Huntingtown, Maryland, 0639.
Please have a seat.
Go ahead and present your application, please.
Hello. Well, as you know, I'm not good at public speaking, so I'd ask that Keith here is one of the owners, so he'd like to speak on my behalf.
We're looking to extend our premise for outdoor seating on the side of our building. We've been using the area temporary with the COVID temporary, but now we're looking to get it permanent.
Okay. I have a quick question. The structure that's to the right near the area which you're temporarily using now, is that a home or what is that? That's
yes,
right here.
The health department.
That's the health department. Okay, thank you.
Oh, I'm thinking the other side.
Okay.
Towards the hospital.
So you're going to have cameras and stuff to be
Yeah, we
able to
already
monitor
do.
it?
Lighting, cameras.
Is there any, beyond cameras, is there any way that you can see it? There's no windows here, right?
There's no windows. During peak times, we have a like a doorman at the door that will stand on the outside of it to monitor that area, and then along with the servers that will serve the area.
Go ahead.
My question is, do we need a diagram of this blue outside area? According to the application, it says, please attach a detailed plot plan of the proposed extension of the premises and outside seating, counter-dimensioned and or drawn to scale to aid in the explanation of your request. Was this done when you all did temporary, the temporary request? Did you all submit a?
No, I submitted this afterward. I submitted temporary a few months ago, and then this was after the fact when they.
Yeah, but when you did the temporary, did you submit a plot plan, dimensionalized and showing?
A scaled diagram?
Yeah, it was a similar diagram, and even though he didn't dimension it on the diagram, he's listed below the diagram what the dimensions are.
Okay. Well, that's my question. Do we need that?
I think he's I mean, I'm not your attorney, but I believe, in my humble opinion, what's written there is what he's doing. He's got 4 picnic tables that will seat an additional 20 people, and the dimensioned area is 18 by 40 feet. I believe it's a grassy or graveled area.
Gravel, yeah.
Graveled. So it's pretty much
Right.
with a 3-foot fence. So it's a simple area.
18 by 40 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as, it's not like different areas, like when we deal with
Yeah.
the Bruder Garden where she's got different areas.
Right.
It's one straight shot.
Health Department, have they,
Yes, the property actually belongs to the county, and we do have a lease now from the county. The only stipulation is no smoking in that area, so it is smoking restricted.
We have signs.
But yes, everybody's signed off on fire marshal, health, and corporate town of Leonardtown.
And the fencing that's there is, so you granted the temporary stuff, I assume you put up temporary fencing, is there,
It's permanent fencing.
it's permanent fencing now, okay.
Permanent wood fencing?
It's 6 by 6s in the ground with
Okay.
ropes, drape.
Okay.
Do you have to enter from the inside?
Yeah, that's where we request everyone to enter from.
Okay.
And you said you've got cameras and lights out there, right? So you can see anybody that can
The whole area is on a camera.
jumping that fence, right? You've got eyes on that, right, to prevent that. Okay.
Okay.
Are there points of ingress and egress off the outside area? Or is the only point of ingress and
No,
egress?
there's an opening on the farthest side of it for exit for fire marshal, fire code purposes.
so one place where there's no rope?
Yeah. It's like a 3-foot or 3.5-foot wide opening.
But no ingress, exit only, right?
Exit only.
Well, but it sounds like it's just
Opening.
an opening, so I mean, I guess in theory, people could come in, right? But, so, yeah, you've got the cameras and lighting, I mean, do you have, is that area going to be staffed by wait staff or a bartender?
Yeah, there'll be a server to serve the area.
Okay. So you have the ability to be able to monitor who's kind of coming in and out, or it's
Yeah.
designed to be out, but
Yeah.
people being people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there any signage that you have or that you'll post saying that exit only, no admittance?
We don't currently have that, but we can. I can get signage made.
I would think that would be appropriate.
Okay. It's on the back side of the building, so there's no thing, signs pointing patio this way, or, the only way you're going to see it is if you come through the building, pretty much. But we can, get the signage if that's required.
What is this? There's something here, I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, right.
Something's going across, so you got the sidewalk going down the building, right?
Bridge that crosses from us
To the health department?
Okay, there's a bridge?
like a walking bridge.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Okay, so that's even blocked to some extent. These are bushes and stuff, right? So,
Yeah, it's got a 4-foot tall railing.
so it's not an easy passage for somebody to go.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, yeah, it's not.
Okay.
You'd have to sneak in from over at the health department somewhere.
That's the nursing home and health department.
Nursing home, yeah, but there's plenty of parking out
Corner
there.
is
too.
Dr. Brewster's office.
Used to have that walkway there for a while.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Use that as access. And a lot of people would park in that parking lot and walk over to the nursing home
Okay.
to visit their relatives.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? Nope. So, do we have a motion to grant the extension of premise for Action Lounge and Billiards LLC?
Yeah, I'll make the motion to grant the extension of premise for Action Lounge LLC, Jeannie Suit and Keith Griffin, Yeah. Well, actually, that's, I guess, conditional on some signage, or they don't need any.
You can make those conditions.
You can make it conditional.
No, I'm not
If you
going
want
to. He said he was going to do it.
Okay.
And then, but they've got all their permits, it sounds like
Yes,
already.
everything from the other agency.
So no other conditions.
Yeah.
But we can send the inspector out to make sure your signage is up.
Okay, we have a motion to grant the extension of premise for Action Lounge and Billiards, Genie Suite, for the outdoor seating. Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
We have a second. Discussion? None? All in favor? Aye. Nays? The ayes have it. Good luck.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Okay, we're getting there.
I'm down to you.
Big docket today. Big docket today.
Just
Yeah.
you sign this one.
The last thing I've got to flip over.
Then the others have to sign this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Rules and regulation change.
What we
No,
did number
no.
two.
Oh, hold on, I'm sorry. There we go.
Where's he at?
There we go, thank you. Social Coffee House. Okay. Social Coffee House is Speakeasy. Sean Coogan Jr. requesting temporary extension of premise for outdoor service during special town event.
Tomorrow.
Jazz Festival on July 9th from 4:30 to 9 p.m.
Y'all raise your hands, please. Do you hereby declare and affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your names and home addresses for the record.
Sean Coogan, 24420 Hillcrest Drive, Hollywood, Maryland, 20636.
Michelle McKay, 43020 Woodpecker Lane, Hollywood, Maryland, 20636.
Please have a seat.
May you go ahead and present your application, please?
Event tomorrow night, tomorrow evening, Jazz and Seafood Festival. It's a whole weekend event, and one part of it is the town would like to shut down Fenwick Street and have jazz band playing in the middle or on the side of the street. And since we're connected to that street and just down a couple units down, we're looking at having, just allowing food and drinks to be served out there. And I believe in the plan, there's a, the sheriff's going to have, or deputy's going to have the street blocked off and.
On one end, we will have Old Town Pub, I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
The Old Town Pub, Wing Wagon will be across the street on one end, and then the other end, a police car. And then there'll be 2 alleyways that would be accessible by pedestrian, and we'll have people located at those watching that no one exits with alcohol.
Okay.
So there will be security at both of the alleyways?
At all 4 points of interest, yes.
All 4 points, okay. And then will you say there's a jazz band performing in the street itself?
Yes.
The square.
Yeah? And then what will you have, I know you all have tables out in front. Will this then expand into the street area?
So the idea was, we had asked, I'm here representing the town, so it's a town event. Social would serve and have tables in front of their restaurant or wherever they would like, but people would be able to walk around within the boundaries of Fenwick Street with drinks that they could purchase from Social.
Okay. Would there be any kind of outside service then, outside of what you currently have out there?
No.
So it wouldn't move into the street area there as far as a bar area or?
We're not going to do any additional type of serving. It would just be if someone would want to come into our facility, purchase a drink, they could walk out and then still have that beverage with them in the street in the.
Okay, so
confines of
they will physically have to come into the.
Yes, sir.
Into the speakeasy or the coffee shop in order to secure a alcoholic beverage.
Yes, there will not be any serving outside.
Right, okay.
So the blocking of the road is past your business?
Yes, it's just down.
At the bottom of Courthouse Drive,
Okay.
at Courthouse,
So where we do the Veterans Day?
yeah, where we usually block it, and then by the old Bank of America is where the wing wagon will be across the road there.
Gotcha.
And we'll have
So
deputies
he's
there.
just, you're good to go. then
Okay.
with that.
Any other questions? I'm assuming all the other vendors, the renters on the street are all on board with this?
Yeah, all the other businesses are participating as well, but this is the only alcohol license that is participating on that street.
Okay.
According to your application, the trade name is Social.
Coffee House and, our actual business name is Social Coffee House and Speakeasy LLC.
Is that also the
Or
trade
actually, when I
trade
say
name?
our, I mean mine.
Trade name and corporate name same?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Any more questions? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the Social Coffee House and Speakeasy, Sean Coogan Jr., and requesting temporary extension of premises for outdoor service during special town event Jazz Festival on July 9th from 4:30 p.m. till 9 p.m.
Okay. Do we have a second to the motion?
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None? Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, hope it's a success for you all.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now, rules and regulation changes. And Tammy, you said you're going to speak on this?
Sure. This is the language that was discussed for the on-site consumption permit for distilleries that had to be added in. We discussed this last week. The language was put together. The way it's set, if you're good with it, it would be approved or disapproved in the 3 separate sections. Section 1, definition, which basically gives the breakdown of what the permit allows. Section 4, because their hours are different than our regular bars and restaurants, that's detailed there. And then Section 7, the cost of the permit.
Okay. I'll give everybody a minute to read it one more time and.
Tammy, after the definitions there, the renumbering of, I believe, paragraph
We would
O.
have to renumber all it's an alphabetical list of definitions.
Yeah, but all of that is
Yeah.
in the current regs.
Correct.
Correct? It's just simple
Yeah, just
renumbering,
renumber.
right? Yeah.
You guys have any discussions on this? The first one, distillery on-site consumption permit. A permit issued for use at the location of a Class 1 distillery license to a holder of a Class 1 distillery license in the county. The holder of the permit may sell mixed drinks made from the liquor that the holder produces that is mixed with other non-alcoholic ingredients for on-premise consumption. The holder may not use more than an aggregate of 7,750 gallons annually of liquor that the holder produces for mixed drinks sold under this permit. The holder of the permit is subject to all these rules and regulations as applicable to a licensed retailer. They want to discuss this, have an issue with the verbiage, would like to approve it.
Do you want to include the schedule of operations also, please?
No, it's 3 sections.
Oh, I see, okay.
We're going to vote on each one of these.
Gotcha.
Okay? Barbara?
I'm good.
Approve, disapprove?
I approve.
Okay, we'll just do it this way. And so, all in favor of the wordage and definitions 1.06? Aye?
Aye.
Motion?
I think you probably should do that by motion,
We
Chairman.
have to do this by motion?
I would suggest either doing individual motions for each one, which I think is probably the way you should go. If you're worried about doing that, then do a omnibus motion, but I would say.
No, that's fine.
If you're going to do it that way, do a motion.
You want me to read this again?
You don't need to read it again, just make a motion to
Okay.
approve the section.
So we're going to make a motion to approve the distillery on-site consumption permit definition 1.06. Do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion, we approve.
We have one motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Discussion? None? Okay, yes? How many ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Nays? None? Approved. Okay, I need a motion for the second one. 4.02, schedule of operation. A holder of a distillery on-site consumption permit may not sell or serve mixed drinks from 10 p.m. until 10 a.m. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion that we approve this schedule of operations.
We have a motion to approve the schedule of operations.
I'll
Do
second
we have a
that.
second?
I'll second.
Okay, Member Watts seconds. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nays? None? Passes. Okay, section 7, classes and fees. 7.02, classes and fees. Distillery on-site consumption permit set at $650. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion that we approve the classes and fees, section 7, distillery on-site consumption permit of $650.
Yeah, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second
We
that.
have a second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? None? Passes. Okay, there's the easy part, right? Okay, Tammy, you want to?
You're at the discussion on adoption of opting into HB.
I am. I believe we have all the information that we need.
I've given you all the data that the crew and I have come across.
Okay.
And you and I sat with the county commissioners, I guess it was 2 weeks ago.
Now, Mr. Beaver,
Yeah.
you were under the impression that if we adopted HB 12, that if we had problems in the future, that it could be rescinded in whole across the board?
Firstly, I would maintain that HB 12 is an enabling statute which enables this board and other jurisdictions in order to promulgate regulations to authorize what's portrayed in the statute. So like any other rule or regulation, the board promulgates a regulation, they have the right to rescind that regulation.
Okay. Thank you. So I think that's an important point here, that there is a reset button. So for me, I think I'm in favor of this. I'm in favor of it because there are some businesses that need help. I question how many are actually going to sit there and use it. I really don't understand how it can necessarily be profitable. We can determine how much somebody could sell in alcohol. That's the one thing that we have control over. So the board here, if we adopt this, then the next step is going to be the language for the permit. They're going to have to get a permit. I believe that we can have some say on training when they get a permit, like we have other RAS training and stuff, right? We can.
I think the statute requires certain training for delivery. The delivery person must be of a certain age, must have alcohol awareness training. I don't know if it gave the board authority to require anything for like takeout, or it's just for the delivery. So, but I don't think we can go beyond that. I mean, they would have alcohol awareness training.
Right.
Which is not our training, but yeah, it's the state training.
I think something has to be done. Well, each person's going to have to come before us to get a permit. And if nothing else, the educational process could be part of that, because they come before us, they say, I want to do this. And then they're going to have to testify how they plan on actually delivering.
The board can ask what their plan of action and how, just like you do when you approve an application, how are you controlling your alcohol service?
So we will leave this up to the discretion of the licensee to propose to the board how they would control the distribution of the alcohol?
I think I'm trying to say is that we just need to sit there and understand that people have been not necessarily, what this law allows is not necessarily the business that's been going on for the last year. Under the governor's emergency order, there were certain activities that are going on, and if people are going to use this in the future and they come before us, I think it's the point that we have to sit there and explain to them exactly what the law allows them to do. And I think if they were delivering before, I'd like to know how they were delivering before, and that there's an understanding that if that way that they were delivering before is not, does not agree with this law, then we can have a time to be able to sit there and have a discussion. So when they leave here and they get a permit, that they clearly understand what this law is, and that they've testified that they know what this law is. And so therefore, if there's a problem, then we'll have sworn testimony that they fully understood the rules and regulations, because it could get muddy. One of the muddy lines is this whole issue of the on-site permit. People who, if you can sell alcohol for on and off-site consumption, this permit will not let you deliver a 6-pack of beer. It's only a cocktail. But somebody who has an on-site only consumption can deliver a 6-pack of beer. That's the way the law is written. And so I think that everybody has to understand when they come in here, they have to understand what their license allows them to do and what that permit allows them to do. I just don't want any, it's almost impossible to enforce. But in the case that something happens and there's some gross negligence and they come before us and they say, well, I didn't know that, well, I don't want to ever hear that. I think it's our job to educate them when they come to get a permit so that they're not set to fail. That's all I want. I just don't want them set to fail.
Well, this would be only for the permit to deliver off-site, correct?
It's deliver or sell for off-site consumption.
Deliver or sell.
You can't now you can't go and ask for 2 Mai Tais to go right now. This license, this permit will allow somebody to buy mixed drinks, to walk out of the restaurant and get in their car and drive away.
But it would have to be a permit to their license.
Yes, it has to be an extra permit.
Okay.
But when it comes to the delivery part, the door-to-door, there's weirdness about what your license class has and what you can actually deliver. And the one that you would think is the most restrictive is actually not the most restrictive once they get the permit. It's not clear to me when you read the law, so I just think that we have to make sure that there's a clear understanding when the permit's issued, that they fully understand. You can't you can't sit there and load up a truck and go to a subdivision and have people pick up their product in a parking lot. It has to be door to door, from a restaurant to the purchaser's home.
Yeah. Home.
Okay.
Home.
That's right, not a
Residents.
community center or anything.
Not a
Then it becomes a
park.
catering.
not like a beer wagon,
Right.
of mixed drinks.
Yeah.
So-
Then it becomes a catering event, right?
Yeah.
So the permit's going to allow this, but I think there's an education part that's going to be more so involved for us.
Right.
And it's going to be kind of like an interview. We have to understand how they were doing it before, if they were doing it before.
Right.
And then we're going to have to define how much alcohol. Mr. Beaver,
Yes.
excuse me, when we do this, are we going to be also to restrict how much alcohol is in the drink? So, an example, it's a cocktail, right? But is it a splash of rum? Is it a splash of Coke and 11 ounces of 151, or is it no more than one shot in a cocktail? Or can we define that?
Your current licenses don't go into the weeds that deep, do they?
And if I order a Long Island iced tea,
Yeah, I know.
Forget the
I just
tea.
think you would get into a very, very slippery slope if you start going down that
Right.
road.
So see, it's going to be 2 drinks or 1 drink.
industry standard.
Or
Has to be with prepared food.
however many meals. I mean, what if you have 8 people that ordered meals and each one want a drink? I mean, you shouldn't even put a number on that.
No.
If depending on how many meals were ordered.
Right, so
Got 7 meals ordered and you can only do 2 drinks, that's
No, it's per meal.
defeats
Drinks
the
per meal.
purpose.
Is what
do
I-
you think it should be drinks per meal?
Per
But then you
meal.
gotta forget what a meal is.
You got to remember, well, a meal we can't define.
Right.
It's just prepared food.
Right.
I mean, a crab dip is a meal.
I mean, you
It's
could- you
prepared
could tell
food. It doesn't say meal, it's
How
prepared
many
food.
orders, like an entree or, that kind of thing? You could tell that.
Yes.
Pizza.
I don't think we can.
One pizza,
How many people is that?
what's six slices?
No, the ratio, there's no ratio in this law.
Not in the law, but I thought there was other ratios that we had talked about before.
There are restaurant ratios,
Right.
Can we apply those?
Apply those the
not to
same.
this law. We're not allowed to do anything in this law besides define.
Well, no, but I mean, the law basically, and Mr. Beaver can confirm, right? Basically, sorry, conversation. So
Trying to find exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, we're looking.
We're just trying, okay.
But I would think barring any specific ratio called out in the law, and this is where Mr. Beaver would have to weigh in, right, is that, the law says it must include prepared food. I would think that we then, as the board, we could put a boundary on a ratio, right, of
Well,
that.
restaurants already are bound by ratio.
Correct. So what we were asking is can we hold this then to that same ratio?
Well, you also have bars that would be able to do this, and they are not held, so are you asking them to
One not to
start
have it, and the
record
other.
keeping on that? Because I don't know if that's the language, that's what we're trying to find, the exact wording.
Well, we have, according to your,
Well, I'm talking the bill itself, the language in the bill.
yeah, but according to what we've got here, it's those that don't qualify, as opposed to those that do.
Well, those who don't qualify, don't qualify. They're not going to be able to.
Period, yeah.
Yeah, we're not talking about that, but I'm talking about restaurants are the only, Class B license is the only license required to file a ratio report with their renewal every year.
Right.
So if you're saying a ratio report for somebody who gets this permit, then you're talking a completely different ratio, and then anybody who has this permit would get that, because there are a handful of bars that would qualify for this.
Yeah.
And they currently are not required.
But they have to serve food, right?
Well, heavy
Right.
hitters.
Per the
heavy-
law.
Heavy hitters and big dogs don't have a kitchen. They
Uh-huh.
serve food. Heavy hitters serves food, so does big dogs. They serve food, so they'll be eligible to do this
Quantity.
because they can serve a prepared meal.
Right.
Are you trying to get their attention?
Hill Store.
Oh, I thought you were waving.
Russell Store.
When I used to live in Connecticut, I remember they had if it said cafe,
Yeah,
and it was a
that's what I
bar, cafe, that meant they served food, and they actually were allowed to stay open longer. That was another restriction in that state. So that's what we're talking about. There are places that sell food. They have happy hours and things like that where you have food out and.
So the bill does provide the licensing board with the authority to limit the quantity of alcoholic beverages that may be sold or delivered under this permit. So read into that what you may as far as,
Right.
How about if we would restrict saying one alcoholic beverage per order?
I think it has to be quantity. See, that could be a 2-gallon Mai Tai.
Per order. What if there's 8 meals within that one order?
Then you could deliver 8 gallons of Mai Tai.
Everybody said per one order.
and it is set a quantity, into an individual in a single transaction. So that's what they're talking about.
So an example would be, and I liked the example given to me by Tammy was industry standard 12-ounce, 2 12-ounce cocktails per meal, or 1 12-ounce cocktail per meal.
I wouldn't even give an ounce, because I wouldn't even put ounces in that, only because the industry standard for a gin and tonic, the size of a gin and tonic, is different than a Long Island iced tea or a margarita. When I say industry standard, it's, you go to your bartender handbook on mixing drinks, and what does it say? Half an ounce of this, dash of that, and that's your drink. So, when you have your highballs, the glass is this big. When you have Long Island iced tea, it's a nice sized glass.
How do we restrict somebody not selling a quart?
That would not be an industry standard. A quart of margarita would not be the industry standard.
So you're going to see the industry standard is going to vary per
Serving.
per
It would be
cocktail.
the industry standard serving of, right. There's no way to do this perfectly, in my humble opinion, and I've heard all the other jurisdictions, the arguments and what they were going to do. As Dr. Chris, we got one jurisdiction that's limiting it to 2 ounces of alcohol per order. per food order, meal order. Again, a Long Island iced tea. It's all, there's 2 ounces of Coke in there. There's, I mean, the rest of it's alcohol.
It's almost, people do it, it's almost like ordering their groceries to be delivered. I mean, that happens nowadays. And whether they want their meal and then to have some type of alcohol, maybe not for that meal, but they want to have it later on. I think that was the mindset in reference to being able to deliver, not just to have it with that meal. And that's why the quantity, I mean,
well, actually,
there was places doing gallon sealed container.
But no, the intent of this bill is to help for those restaurants or sit-down businesses to make up for that for people who are still not coming in. So when you sit down at a restaurant, what's your average drink and meal? You go in for a meal, and the average is what, maybe 2.5 drinks or something like that, along those lines.
Right.
And that's about what you drink when you're sitting down with your meal. I would say that was the intent of this. I don't think I don't think it's like a grocery store where, I want my milk and my cereal, but I might sit down and...
The positive of that is they're already at home, so they're not going to be out on the streets driving. You know what I'm saying?
It's delivered.
Yeah.
We're talking curbside, too.
Yeah.
It's still curbside's on there, too.
Right.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
It is complicated, and that's exactly what the commissioner said to you. It's complicated, and it's a difficult decision, and good luck.
That's a petition from the local.
And I know that to interrupt the Retail Beverage Association, Dave Dent said he wouldn't be here, but he had Roger coming, so that's why Roger is still here.
Okay.
Speak on their behalf.
So why don't we call Roger for it and take...
Roger's been wanting to come forward.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hot box.
No, you're still sworn in from before.
Swear.
You're good, Roger.
Okay.
Yep.
So I have...
Hun, just sit and talk in the mic, or Amy will...
I have 12 petitions here from different businesses that serve alcohol. Some just alcohol, some food and alcohol. I have 5 pending and 5 that I still have yet to reach out to in the northern end of the county. I didn't realize it was the 8th. I thought it was the 14th was going to be the date. So I just wanted to put those on record. And then I also made a PowerPoint and printed it out.
Do you want to submit it to the chair, Roger? And your petitions, the whole packet?
The whole thing?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that'll be part of the record.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, how many total in the county?
So 12, 5, 22.
I'm sorry?
22.
42?
22.
22. And how many, you've reached out to all but 8? Is that correct?
All but 5.
All but 5.
I've already reached out to 12 and had 12 signed. I have 5 more that are pending pickup because the licensee wasn't there when I was able to get to the business. And then I have 5 more that I'm trying to reach out to within the next couple of days. So that's 22 total.
You guys want to?
Well, just in regards to this and understand what we've done as far as a draft on the outdoor seating. Can we do something similar to this as to time constraint? You know, if you have not
do you mean?
applied for or...
Well, they had to stop June 30th. That's stopped with the governor's order. You're talking about the to-go drinks and the cocktails to go and delivery? That all ended when the emergency order was lifted.
Okay.
Now what you're looking at is a bill that was passed that gives the local jurisdictions the ability to continue under the parameters of this bill,
Okay.
continue delivery and cocktails to go.
For how long?
Well,
2
there's a
years.
2-year sunset.
2-year sunset.
Right.
Okay. Gotcha.
Do you mind if I make a suggestion?
Go right ahead.
So Tammy was talking about the Long Islands and all that kind of stuff. What's the difference between buying a Slim Jim at a liquor store and buying a case of beer or a bottle going down the road? Or why don't we just make establishments make specialty drinks? Like Orange Crushes or Mai Tais or...
The law specifically says for most of them, it's cocktails. So it is going to be specialty drinks.
Right. But I mean, Big Dog's Long Island isn't better than Russell's Long Island. A Long Island's a Long Island.
Well, I'm not saying that. What they were talking about, do we limit it to 2 ounces? And not every cocktail.
Right.
Some cocktails have more alcohol, some cocktails have less.
The only,
So that was my, sure.
The only control we have is defining the quantity pretty much, some administrative stuff for the quantity. You know, so our concerns, I don't want, I have a lot of concerns about this bill.
Right.
I mean, the whole.
Well, you said pouring 11 ounces of rum in a drink. As a business, I don't want that, I don't want that much alcohol poured in a drink, period, ever.
Well,
that's just money out the door. You know what I mean?
Not if you charge for, not if you charge for 11 shots.
Well, I mean,
we don't control we don't control how much the price of the beverage is. We're just worried about alcohol being sit in somebody's house and not be consumed. We're talking about, kids getting a hold of it. We're talking about people selling open container stuff that's been opened and taking it out and delivering it to somebody's home.
I mean, as a teenager, I snuck alcohol from my parents that wasn't pre-made. It was Jack Daniels top of the.
But you probably didn't sneak.
Is there a statute of limitations?
You probably didn't sneak the ones that weren't open. You probably didn't crack the unsealed ones. You probably
there wasn't many that weren't.
You probably filled it up with water afterwards, the little scratch line.
You're still talking about, it's a private residence, so once it gets there, it's the responsibility of the homeowner, not the business.
You're right, but it's a health issue. It's a responsibility of the beverage board.
Right, but what if you're approving, if they're having a party, meaning a birthday party, and 20 meals were approved, are you saying how many alcoholic beverages can go to that residence?
Yes, that's what we're
so like two per meal?
That might be a number that we decide on. Might be 1, it could be 3.
Because that would be the only, you can't do ounces or this, that, and the other, or this type of drink or
Well, it says quantity, so that was the reason why it's very vague. You actually could, it might not be enforceable, but you could. It says quantity. Quantities.
It says you may limit the quantity of alcoholic beverages that may be sold or delivered under this section to an individual in a single transaction.
Right.
So
you could, the board has the right to say 2 ounces of spirits only, regardless of what mixers it is or whatever.
According to the way that reads, that could be 1 drink per order. So you could order 40 meals and still only get 1. I mean, it's vague. Mm-hmm. It gives you, but it gives you the leeway.
And that's the only thing we have leeway pretty much on.
Yeah. And then in delivery, the only bookkeeping is record keeping would be delivery for off-site delivery.
I have a concern here. Your forms here signed by all these different businesses,
Yes.
do we have a copy of this on record?
You do right now.
We do now.
We do now, okay. All right, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
'Cause that's the first time I've seen it.
Ours, well, me too, but
You know.
that's become part of the record now.
And this is, for whatever reason, vague in that it says, customer response and support of this new business model has been extremely positive given the new uncertainties created by this global pandemic. Well, that's wonderful, how much customers
Well, the point is,
response and everything else.
Point is, these businesses are supporting it. That's what.
Yeah.
Well, and that's a little bit of my concern too,
Yeah, it
is
is.
this is not meant to be a change of business model. This is a COVID relief bill.
Well, I understand that,
Yeah, but I mean, if that's the language in that petition,
COVID's still out there.
Well,
The state of emergency may be over, but people are still
but what
not
happens
coming
in
into
2 years
businesses
when
because of
when
COVID.
this expires? If people are actually changing their business model based on this?
If you
then
change your
you're-
whole
then you're
business
hot-
model, yes, then you're
you're
going
in
to have
hot
to change it
water
again in 2 years.
Okay.
But I've adapted my business model with that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So in 2 years, you're going to have to unadapt. You're going to have to adapt without it when this expires.
Correct, unless it gets fully passed and it's whatever it is now. But that's in 2 years.
Count on that. I mean, you know what I'm
But that's
saying?
in 2
I'm not
years.
saying it won't happen, but I'm just saying I wouldn't.
Sunset.
Because, also 18 months without being in a bar, that's
Look at
changed
it,
people's
see it.
habits.
Hands or continue on.
They don't want to go to the bar no more on Friday. They want to go to this person's house and play cornhole in the garage because they got 8 bedrooms in their house or a couch they can sleep on and not have to drive home. So
Well, that's what liquor stores are for, though.
then
That's
we're
what-
just killing the bar industry?
No, sir, not at all, not at all. But, we spoke to almost all of our bars and restaurants, and most of them want people back in. They don't want to change
100% I
this.
want people back in. But I spoke to Kevin that day. Memorial Day weekend is normally a dead weekend for me.
Right.
But I ended up on the positive side because of the drinks to go.
Right.
And people ordered the drinks, put them in coolers, and then went to their campsite.
When was this?
Memorial Day weekend.
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day weekend.
You have to deliver because
We did
you stay
it,
home. You're not out on the road getting drunk.
I don't even remember the date now or what the holiday was. But it's been numerous times. I know Labor Day weekend last year, the same thing, because they had parties on the streets. Well,
It could be any holiday, really.
Yeah.
4th of July, Labor Day,
yes.
But this
Memorial Day.
This was curbside.
I had orders ready for the 4th of July, but obviously couldn't do it because everything ended on the 1st, so we had to rearrange the situation, and I couldn't sell them the beverages to go.
And then, like you said, at campsites,
Well, yeah,
it's not necessarily someone's home, as far as delivery goes.
Yeah, it's their RV, their trailer, so.
Right,
they're-
exactly.
They're home, so.
It's their home for the weekend.
I guess so.
That's right.
Even Transportation Authority looks at it as a home.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, this is either a one-step or a two-step process.
Okay.
This one-step process is that you don't adopt it, and then it's over with. Or actually, it could be resurfaced later on. Because you have the 2 years to be able to, you could not do it this month or next month or next month. There's no mandate on when we do it. Or you can adopt it, and then we have to sit there and hash out all this other stuff, but they're two different issues. One is adopting it, and the second is what the controls are. There's going to be a permit that has to be written up, just a sample that was given to us. And there might have to be 2 permits because of the 2 different license classes.
No,
And-
it
no?
would be one permit.
Okay.
It would be one permit, yeah.
But
We
that
could do
to permit, they're gonna have to come before us, just like anybody, I mean, any other time, and they're gonna have to apply for it. There'll be a hearing, and then we'll say yea or no. There's no fee, but that has to happen. And then, of course, the restriction on how much. It's going to take a month, 2 months. So,
Or we do nothing.
if we do nothing, which is,
Tantamount to not adopting it.
pardon me?
Doing nothing's tantamount to not adopting.
Yes, yeah. So where's everybody at? Barbara?
I don't know.
Just a quick question, Roger. When the people who gave you,
Yes.
they did understand they had to serve a meal, a prepared meal.
Yes,
Okay, just want to make sure.
But,
because
I
some
mean,
people don't
we-
understand that.
correct.
Yeah.
I was hoping that maybe bars that didn't have food could maybe do it.
Nope.
And I was trying to get them in it as well.
Yeah.
Because,
The law is what it says. We have no control of, the law, it's the bills that require this to be done with a meal, period. There's no wiggle room on that one.
right.
The board can't.
Is it a
have-
meal or a prepared?
Prepared meal, prepared food.
Prepared
I'm
food.
sorry, prepared food. So no Slim Jims, bag of chips, and,
I mean, that's a meal for some people.
no, but that's not.
I understand. I understand.
It actually says no prepackaged food.
Right.
No
Okay. That's a
prepackaged
meal
food.
for some people.
Okay. And that was my concern too, with some folks thinking, because we're very liberal in what was allowed, and a lot of businesses were selling just drinks to go, okay? That won't fly, and a few of the businesses we spoke to said, well, if I have to do a meal, that's not that's not going to help me.
Right.
It's actually going to hinder me. So that, I just want to make sure that, like, when you were talking to folks, that they kind of had that comprehension that, yeah, this has got to be with a prepared meal, prepared food, no
I mean,
prepackaged food.
yeah, as far as I know, they understood it, so.
Because we had a few that didn't understand. They just thought, like, the bars that don't have kitchens and can't prepare food, they
Right.
thought this was applicable to them too, and it's not. Unfortunately, it's not. But it's nothing the board can do about it.
Right.
But that's part of the education process, right, that the chairman was talking about, when people come in to apply for, assuming we approve this. But the people, when they come in to apply for that permit, right, we can then certainly ask those questions, how are you preparing food, those sorts of things.
I would say, I'm going to propose that we table this to the next meeting, considering the fact, Roger, that you've got 5 outstanding businesses that have not responded to this outside of the 22.
I've reached out to them on social media, and they've replied back, but I just don't have it in writing.
Okay.
For the record.
But I'm saying that we get that, and then we.
I don't think it's required.
No?
No, it's just testimony that he's delivered. It just wasn't delivered.
Right.
Okay.
We act on what we have.
Yeah, the enforcement piece is concerning. We've had quite a bit of conversations about that. This ends up really just kind of coming down to a lot of just honor system, right? Because there's no real way to enforce it.
This law is only for 2 years.
No set,
It has a two-year sunset
rules.
clause, but like Roger said.
We certainly set a rules, but
but nothing,
you guys,
nothing hard and fast.
how you would be able to ensure.
Or as far as law enforcement, nothing. Unless you get a complaint, and then you find out that perhaps the alcohol that was utilized at that residence was from a delivery.
Our authority.
That's the only way it would be a reaction
Authority.
instead of a proactive kind of thing.
Sure.
And, really, it depends on the citizens of St. Mary's County, how they live their lives. I mean, they go to the grocery store or the liquor store or anywhere, and
Do
they
it.
purchase items and they take it home, and however responsible they are at that
Exactly.
setting is how you're going to have it when you have delivery. So it doesn't really matter what guidelines you put on something, it's how they're going to act once it gets there.
People are going to be stupid, they're going to be stupid.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Can't legislate.
I mean, you can go buy a case of beer and take it home, and if they allow their underage to drink it, that's going to continue. If they do not allow that to happen, then they, are acting proportionate of what their family rules are.
Are they really relying on it?
So you're not going to really change the mindset of people by restriction.
Almost say don't adopt it.
Yeah.
There's a few.
Yeah.
There's a few.
Can't legislate.
Yeah, I mean, somebody
Stupidity.
thought it was a good idea up the road, so, I mean, they're just saying, hey, are you going to tag into this? And that's where it lies in your lap.
I mean, as
So
much
it's already a law. So they're just saying, hey, you want to join the fun?
as much as I love seeing you guys' faces, I could have definitely been at work, you know what I mean? So I definitely don't want the to-go drinks to become a problem where I am consistently having to come back, defend myself, defend my business, and, I mean, just bad business, and, I mean,
they're giving you all these avenues to be financially set in reference to anything inside your business, outside. Hey, we'll bring it to you.
yeah, because if it wasn't for the to-go drinks, I wouldn't be an establishment here to talk to you today.
Right. A lot of people wouldn't.
I mean, business is coming back,
So you
but
guys,
it's not even close to what it was in 2019, 2018. Not even close.
so if somebody comes to us for another violation, and this is another thing you guys can think about. They come to us for a violation, and they have a violation. I think that, and it can, maybe it doesn't even have to necessarily be, Mr. Beaver,
I'm sorry.
if somebody was to be involved in a violation, they come here in the penalty phase, if they're guilty, then can there be action against their permit to go as well, if they've already demonstrated that they're not responsible or they're not attentive to what they're doing? And we'll say they sell to a minor and they get nailed in one of the normal sting operations, but they also have a permit to sell delivery. Can we revoke that permit as well and pull it away as saying that you've demonstrated that you can't do a ID check at the counter? Then we really question if you can do it door to door.
Yeah, I mean, I would maintain that the board would have the authority to revoke a permit if they chose to do so.
Okay.
Once again, you have the authority to issue a permit, you have the authority to revoke it.
Trying to use this discussion about
as with a license, you have the right to suspend a license if based upon a violation if you choose to do so.
So, if we have a problem,
To suspend a permit.
Or some kind of restriction on, not necessarily total revocation, but some kind of restriction of,
just pull it.
Next 2 weeks or 2 months or whatever.
Pull it.
Pull it. It's a special privilege.
Okay.
I'm just saying, it's something that you guys think about. We're going to vote on this. If we're going to have a motion, then there are options. I know what the concerns are.
Right.
Nobody wants to sit there and
Well, you
pick
can
up the
even
news.
put that in there, right? I mean, like.
No, it wouldn't have to be in there, I don't think.
Meaning in your rules and regulations, you could say if you have a violation, right now you have
I guess they could. That could be
you
a
have
cautionary
certain
thing in
things
the
that are in
permit.
there, a monetary fine.
Correct.
Suspension and/or.
Yep.
That's, and Tammy and I were just discussing that. If the board were to choose revocation of a permit or suspension of a permit as a penalty, we would amend our rules and regulations to add that as a penalty.
Okay.
Question for you, Roger. What is your business?
Russell's Bar.
I'm sorry?
Russell's Bar. Russell's Store.
Okay.
Old Betty.
So you want to toss a coin, or do we going to have a motion, or? That's just humor. That's humor.
Do we thumb wrestle for it?
Everything's got to be with wrestling with you, right?
I mean,
I want to know if you have a specialty drink called the Lola.
So anyway, I'll do the rare chairman, which under small rules can make a motion. And I'm going to sit there and make a motion that we adopt HB 12 and that at the next meeting that we are going to hash out the restrictions. I mean, what the permit's going to be like.
Yeah, that's
what the quantity is going to be.
And they get to go, or?
And the penalties.
And the penalties.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Yes.
If I could amend your motion or
I haven't
make
made
a
one yet.
suggestion. Oh, the suggestion for the language would be to adopt regulations, right, that as authorized by HB 12, not to really adopt HB 12, right?
Okay.
And probably have some type of language in the motion saying, pending the language.
I just don't want to confuse anybody thinking the board saying they adopt, they start now, because we haven't put any regs.
I get that.
Right. Just to be clear about that, we're moving forward with the process, as you said.
Adopt regulations?
To adopt regulations to be drafted or to be prepared.
Okay. For
For guidelines.
It'll be
and-
under HB 12. We're not also adopting HB 12.
Right.
In accordance with House Bill HB 12.
In accordance. Okay, so I make a motion that we adopt, actually, how am I going to do that? I don't have the
To adopt regulations to be proposed or drafted.
we don't have.
Regulations, we don't have any
We don't have them.
regulations to adopt, but
We don't have regulations to adopt.
You're
What is the language exactly?
You're adopting the HB bill.
That's the language
That is
they,
House
that's the
bill.
language they
Not
use,
the
so.
House bill, but that's.
And then for future guidelines and instructions,
How about you just task us with language?
Yeah.
We come back.
Yes.
That's probably a better way to
How
do it.
about
Yeah.
Okay.
Task us to put stuff to, because you already have me.
Okay,
draft.
so we won't vote on it today. We will instead ask to have the,
That's better.
that doesn't even require a motion.
Correct.
Okay.
That's better.
That keeps
So are we
everybody.
adopting something or?
No, we're not.
Yeah.
They're going, we are going,
That was
we are
yours.
going to be given the documents. And is there any way that we can have, is there anything that allows some sort of working group that,
In the boards. I
quorum,
know what he's saying.
2 people.
that,
Violating OPM.
Oh, you mean like a committee or a working group?
Yeah.
I don't know if we can do that, can we?
I don't,
We don't have-
Executive session.
Well, it can't be a quorum, but if it's not a quorum,
You can go into executive session, right?
no, not
No,
for that.
No, not for that.
Not for that.
I only do that with.
no, we're just
personnel.
talking about between now and next month.
right.
We can't, this meeting hall's very limited and it's so,
You wouldn't be able to use members, more than, let's say, 2 members of the board without violating the Open Meetings Act.
right, so that's what I think. So
You can appoint, let's say, a committee, I guess. I guess we
Well, I
can do
mean,
committees.
okay, because we're such a small board. I think what you're saying is, okay, so that's your language drafter. All right, I scratched together a semi-draft.
and 2 people on the committee get to read it.
Get to look at it in the office. Is that legal?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what.
Just as long as we don't have a quorum.
Correct.
Yeah, so 2 people.
Can you do that?
I can do that.
Can you do that?
Maybe.
I'll do it.
Okay, what?
Okay,
You 2 guys?
yeah, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, after they-
I just want to be able to have a fairly finished product instead of it
Yeah.
taking 4 months for this to happen.
Yeah, instead of kicking it back every single
Yeah,
month, right?
yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Total sense.
We'll give you
These guys are
160
still
days.
waiting. If you're going to do it, they're sitting in the,
Extension.
they're waiting.
Right.
So this way, you want to get something
We
pretty,
need 180.
pretty solid
Yeah.
for next month's meeting, so it's a
Okay.
yay or a nay, and these guys aren't
Right.
waiting 3 more months.
Yes.
Send it all for them, right? I mean. it's
Again,
just
I don't
great.
want to set people to failure and think that they have a go on this. They don't.
Yeah.
It's
Makes
not.
sense. I like it.
We're still working on it.
Just
Yeah, we've got 2 years,
can't
right?
communicate together.
Maybe yours is going to be over with.
You know how much money I'm going to miss out in 2 years?
Okay, so no vote today.
No vote today.
No vote.
But we're all in agreement that we're
Everything you
moving in
read.
the same direction.
Yeah.
Yes.
To a document that would allow us.
Writing like crazy.
Stuff goes on.
Scratch.
So you can make that report, Roger.
I'm gonna try.
Yeah,
So that's what it says.
if you need to.
Until they get
Well,
back.
Tammy has my number if you guys need any help drafting
All
anything.
right,
up.
Tammy,
How do you feel about no ice in the drinks? That
got
was
15
suggested.
minutes.
Can't- Unless
I
I knew
mean,
a day.
That made sense to me. I don't want to
We
drink
won't know a day.
I know.
anything.
So, I'll be
I refrigerate mine.
with you.
Thank you.
Saying,
I do.
Like this,
drink
when I
to
had
go.
the 16-ounce containers and the half, in
That's
the
when you go
half-gallon
off the
containers,
clock?
they were
no,
refrigerated.
no.
You can't.
Other,
That's a health.
When it was
Above your
open.
pay grade, right?
We're going somewhere else with that.
Okay.
We'll talk. We'll talk.
Okay.
Next item is going to be the Board Administrator's report.
see you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roger.
Real quick housekeeping at the office. We are moving forward, trying to get RAST together. We have 18 months of dead time that a lot of our stuff is probably obsolete, so we need to go through that. I can't walk and chew gum at the same time, but fortunately, most of the moving of furniture and cutting up cabinets and the room is ready to roll. It's just our program isn't. So we're working on that. Susie's keeping the list. We're going to get people done. We're trying to get it by the fall, okay? Housekeeping. The other most important thing is brought up outdoor seating. I know HB 12, everybody talks about HB 12, but as you and I know, when we went to the county commissioners, some of the commissioners thought HB 12 had to do with outdoor seating because most of their constituency and what we're hearing going out and talking to people is they don't want to lose their seating. So the question that I had was, can this board, what can they do? Can you approve, because all of the COVID seating that existed with not a full approval permitting process, okay? Land use waived their rights, the fire marshal waived his rights. So it's basically a health department, sheriff's office, and us checking off on these. So now they want to continue, but my question was, we need something that gives this board authority to have some wiggle room here to let these people continue, to not have to pack up all the chairs and tables until they come in and ask, like you've seen a few come in already. So Chris drafted this language, the resolution for this year, and I know you just got it this morning, but if you're good with this, that gives folks the ability to keep their seating that they have as long as they get an application into our office within 30 days, which also generates notification to the other agencies, but it's on a 90-day, it's only, what, a 90-day expiration?
Correct.
Okay. So when they come in with our application before the board could not exceed that 90 days, or, because they'd have to come in with a permit, with a request.
Right. Once they come in with the permit, then within the 30 days, then they have the 90 days from them, because
Okay.
you have to put some type of time cap, otherwise it could go on for eternity, right? You don't want it to go in perpetuity. So 90 days, I think, because this board, it does 90-day periods as the longest period, so it seemed like the reasonable thing, not to mention 90 days from now puts you into the fall anyway. So outdoor seating becomes a little less desirable in the fall and winter months.
Right, and so then they just pack it in until next year or whatever. But you also included language in here that should another agency, land use, fire marshal, the health department, disallow this seating,
And it's done.
it's done.
It's not that they have to go and seek complete approval from those agencies in order for this to continue. It's just if they disallow, so like if land use comes along and says, there's no way you can have that, or health department especially says you can't have that seating, then it's done.
Okay.
Again, the whole idea here is to be able to give the businesses the opportunity to keep their established COVID outdoor seating, to give them time to be able to come before this board and present their, request for extension of their premise to include the outdoor seating.
Okay. And this will obviously be communicated to all those folks, right? That what their timeline is and they need to get this.
If the board approves this resolution, then I and our staff will call all of those who you have quite a few, including Roger, who've already asked. But we will contact all of our licensees that have COVID seating and give them this information. I will also let the other agencies know, because they have been asking me, what is the board going to do? Are they going to let them keep alcohol? What's the board? So I will let them know if the board adopts. Now, we don't trump them. They don't go around saying to people, you can't have alcohol at this table. That's not their world. This board does not have the authority to say, well, you can have 4 tables out there and drink out, because you're not the table people.
Right.
You know, so.
Right. Everybody read the resolution? Do we have a motion to adopt the resolution?
Make a motion, we adopt the resolution.
Okay, we have a motion to adopt the Alcohol Beverage Board of St. Mary's County Resolution Number 2021-01, COVID-19 outdoor seating.
I'll second that motion.
We have a second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? None? Resolution passes. You need us all to sign this now?
Yes, sir.
This is the signed copy?
No, the one with the sticky on it.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. No, you're not the next group in here.
It was me.
Board Inspector report. Are you, pardon me, are you done?
Yes, sir, I'm
Okay,
done.
okay. Mr. Hall?
Last month done 11 inspections, the CAC meeting, the mailer meetings, texted all the licensees about what was the changes, and we also called all the licensees about the changes, so we were busy in the office this month, and probably still will be the next couple of months with changes going on, so.
Yes.
So, that's it.
Thank you, sir. Board members' time?
You forgot somebody down here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Alcohol.
Why do I always miss you?
They were kind of skipping you.
Bam.
He was supposed to be before me, but
I knew you were going to do it. I said board inspector. I was like, okay, he probably passed me. It's all right. I'll make
it's intentional.
I know. I'll make it quick.
Go ahead, Sergeant Myers.
We've actually had a busy last 2 months. Of course, we did the covert assignment in May, and in June we did 17 compliance checks. That was mainly done with alcohol and tobacco. So when we went in to talk to them, we wanted to express ourselves with, joining forces with the tobacco also, because it's 21. And a lot of people forget that. So we want to kind of just rejuvenate their mindset to know to ask for a youthful face when they're getting cigarettes or whatever the case may be. That was a positive. The sheriff's office arrested 15 people for DUI, and I attended one meeting, and things are going very well utilizing the cadets. Very youthful face, but it's what it is. So hopefully we can continue on. The health department has put in for a grant I think that'll take place in October, that we'll do it more often than we have been. So I think things are going to be good.
Question for you. On your DUI arrests, that is not just alcohol related, correct?
That's correct.
So if somebody's intoxicated from controlled substance, then that would...
process there that will show you, meaning the officer's observations, the field sobriety test that he gives on the roadside, and then once they get to the intoximeter, if it's a 0-0, with the activities that subject had, tells you that it's more favorable that it's going to be CDS.
Okay,
And then they'll call in a drug recognition expert.
gotcha. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. And that concludes my.
And you have a operation on July 10th, is it?
July 10th?
And wasn't there some sort of sobriety?
That's coming up this weekend.
Oh, that's the sobriety checkpoint?
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
Okay,
This weekend, huh?
okay, good. Board members?
And it'd be a saturation patrol, usually coincides with that, so
Okay.
just a group of individuals going out. So That's it.
Okay.
I have nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing?
Okay,
Yeah?
I guess we need a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
to adjourn the-
I'll second to that.
Everybody's going for the mic on that one.
Marathon. Okay, we have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Discussion? No? All in favor? Aye. We adjourn. Thank you.